Hey guys, I'm looking for a mirror. Oh shit, there's a mirror right there. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Please tell this humble guy who is the biggest pimp of them all, because I need to know. Please tell me. Please.
It is still use skills. You could insert bastard.
Hey guys, this is an interview that I did for Chase. How it happened is we have like a nomination for the Seducer of the Month, somebody that has contributed, has helped, or is killing it on the field right now. That get nominated by the other seducers in the from around the world. So first, I got nominated before by somebody named Chief. Like when it started, I think I was the first guy to get nominated, but I declined. And looking back, that was a stupid mistake because it set up a precedence. I'm supposed to be like one of the role models. So I started seeing that everybody kept declining, 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 declining. The reason I declined it was because I didn't feel. I feel like, man, give some shine to somebody else. Everybody can see a bunch of my posts and what I do for years. So why don't give shine to somebody new? Well, that was my thinking. And even Tvster nominated like a second time, and then everybody else voted for me too as well. Had the same thing pattern, you know. Um, it's like somebody nominating Chase or Tvster or nominating Gonwich and things like that. Those are guys that already had like a lot of work, right? So I thought it was too that was silly, for to me for being to be nominated. But anyways, I got nominated. I said yes the second time because again there is a pattern that people get nominated and they decline. So I said, well, let me give it a role model, give an example. Now, when I did the thing, it was like on a Sunday at 10 p.m. my time. So remember, I go out Friday and Saturday till like 4 or 5 in the morning, sometimes 6 in the morning. So I was. Then the next on Sunday, I wake up late. I go to the fucking gym. I run errands, all this shit, right? So by the time I was doing the interview, I was already dead. Then um Chase connection was horrible, man. Horrible. He was like in a cafe and some shit. So it looks like I'm talking over Chase and shit, or I'm not listening to the question he's asking. But the communication was really, really bad. Like I don't know. We had like connection issues. So and then he lost an hour. Um, Now, guys, some context. I want to clarify some things in the interview that are because I don't want people to think, man, that doesn't sound right. People that have followed me for years, like Dream, and other guys that have followed me for years, so they're gonna think what I said is off or no, right? The thing is, again, I'm just the Chase. We never like I told Chase, "Hey, let's be spontaneous. Let me not analyze what I'm gonna say." And looking back, that was a mistake because when I do my YouTube channel shit, it's like freelancing, but it's freelancing from things that just happened recent, right? So I say, oh, this happened to me recent. Let me talk about it, right? But Chase was bringing up shit that I don't even remember that I did. You know what I'm saying? Because what happens is let me tell you guys how I write and how I do like reports, field reports, and how I come to the practical stuff that I write or make a video about. So let's say I go to a club, right? And during that time, I open a girl singing, right? And then I lay that girl singing, or I open the girl buying time with the opener, right? And then I come to an epiphany and I say, "Oh shit, this is what I did to get late." And I write, instead of me writing a late report, I write like a technique, right? Like open singing or buying time with the opener. The opener is to buy time, right? But by the time, but that I get late way many different ways, right? So by the time Chase was asking me about shit that I did like 5 years ago or 3 years ago or 2 years ago, even 1 year ago. I don't remember by now. You know what I'm saying? Like but right now, I'm not remember. So that was a mistake. I should have tell Chase, hey Chase, what you want to do? What you want to talk about? So that way I can articulate better. Because a lot of things, even though guys liked it, a lot of things I thought it was weak. The way I explained it on the interview. You guys are gonna see. You're gonna see. So, for example, I know how to get in free, and I teach how to get in free, and I have a post on how to get in free. But I haven't had to use that in 4 years. I haven't had to use how to get in free systems in the last 4 years. So I'm not fresh in my head. So when Chase asked me how I do it, I got a little bit, like, oh shit, I got caught on the spot. I haven't done that in 3 4 years. Then there's some techniques that he asked me is that I use in texting, but he thought I did in call approach. So some things but some you'll see in the we talk about an interview. That's one thing I want to clarify. Okay. Now the other thing, guys, is like in the interview, um, I said that I get that I never did anything with blah blah blah. My natural friend back then. You're gonna hear that in the interview. I did mess around with a girl, but I didn't put dick in pussy. Okay, but I did mess around with her and she liked me, but I never put dick in pussy. So it's valid. Okay, so that's one clarification. Okay, now about the 10 biggest mistake I said in the interview that I got spam in AOL. That's not true. That's not factual. That I got spam in MySpace, no AOL. I say AOL. That was incorrect. That was MySpace. Okay. What else did I say that was off? Okay, so I say Twitter taught me sexting. That's incorrect. Twitter doesn't even do sexting. So that's 100% off. Twitter never taught me sexting. What Twister helped me with, helped me with to learn about the secret society, the Madonna horror complex, the lower provider stuff, women's state changes at clubs, and some second generational gambits. That's what's influenced to me by Twister. But like sexting, Twister doesn't even do sexting. Okay. All right. Let's see what else. And again, guys, the last thing is, it sounds like I'm talking over Chase and answering some questions that he asked me. Um, but it's because again, it's because the connection was really really bad. Okay. All right, guys. That's all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. What else? What else? What else? That's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the interview with Chase. I want to say, guys, I want to thank Chase for giving me the opportunity. And if you guys have anything else that you guys want me to clarify or go more in depth, I got articles on everything that he asked me. Um, it's just that in the interview, man, I was like, I got caught up in the spot. Oh, also, guys, one more thing. My voice sounds like shit. Okay, because I Chase was very like serious and deep, so I wanted to cause like a little bit of a contrast too, to be more cheerful. Damn, I sounds a little high pitched there. Like when I'm with women, I don't sound like that. I sound a little more deep. Like I can alterate my voice pattern. Like, hey, these are the eight orgasm. You have the so you see, I can talk sensual as well. Okay, but in the interview, I'm not gonna be talking sensual when Chase is right there. All right. But anyways, that's all I got. I enjoy the interview. Okay, see you at the end. Bye bye.
All right, this month's Skills Seducer of the Month is a particularly special recipient. This month we recognize Skills, a guy who is an absolute treasure of the seduction community. Skills started out on natural sleeping with women using entirely his own approach. At the time he found the community, he was already prolific with girls, and he's been just as prolific in his contributions. Today, Skills is a mainstay of the modern seduction community, and his involvement has helped shape it into the place it is now. Skills, it's a pleasure to finally talk with you.
Before I start, let me give my intro. Skills from the skillseducer.com, chaseblog.com, astroseduction.com. Shout out to all the hustlers, bustlers, players, pimps, pruas, naturals, gigolos, max, playboys, fuckboys. Fuck it, everybody. I'm sorry, Chase, I couldn't help myself. My bad.
It's a good introduction. So now, give me the rundown on how you got your start, like your real start before community or any of this stuff.
Okay, so when I started watching. Like I came from the United States from another country. When I started, I didn't know what I was doing, so I started watching romantic movies. And you know the romantic movies, they give you a stupid advice like the flowers and take the girl out to dinner and all this shit. And I was doing that stupid ass game, and that shit didn't work. And then I started hanging out with all type of guys that I thought were good with women, like surfers, skateboarders, gang members, drug dealers. Like I was trying to figure out what groups is good with women, and then they were all full of shit. And then in a job, accidentally, I had one itis for one girl, right? And then I was trying to be like a nice guy and all that. And then I met this natural guy, like a black natural. And I was with that girl like taking her to my house and buying her flowers and taking her for dinner. And I was competing with that natural for that girl. And then I took her to my house and she wanted to sleep with me. And I said, no, you sleep in this room. Like I wanted to take my time, like from the romantic movies. And nothing happened. And then that natural, he banged her like 50 times. And then he passed her to his brother and then banged her. And I said, fuck this shit. I'm gonna model that natural and study what he's doing with the women. So his pickup was like this, like he will call approach, and he will go like, hey, what's up? So are you here waiting for your boyfriend, or are you here at the movies? You gonna watch a movie with your boyfriend? And then when the girl says, oh, I don't have a boyfriend, then he will go like, oh really? Oh shit, no? Also, let me get your number. And then he would with the one of beepers or cell phone. We will have like a pen and a piece of paper, and they would write down the beeper or the number. And then so it was a stupid seduction. But I saw like the reactions of the girl and it was working. So I got excited. And I didn't have the approach anxiety because I saw that what he was working. So I was so confident. And then when I do the same shit, hey, so what's up? Are you here shopping groceries to make dinner for your boyfriend? Any situational type of opener to find out she has a boyfriend. If she had a boyfriend, she would say, if she wasn't interested, she would say, I will have a boyfriend, right? If she said, I don't have a boyfriend, I know she was interested. So that was an IOI, right? Indication of interest. I'll say, oh, really? So let me get your number. So that stupid game back in the day worked, right? So then I started doing that and getting success and getting more comfortable and learning and making mistakes. Just, natural thing. And then one time at a party, there was a guy from a Latin guy that I took to a club that I just met for work and all that. And then he was just dancing. And then all these girls, a group of girls went around him, make a group. And then I give him dollars and all that. And I would come from the back and say, hey, so what's up? So you got a mouse or you got a boyfriend? And that shit doesn't work in the dance room. But I saw the guy, I saw all the success, the guy, all the approaching, all the IOIs, all that stuff that he was getting in the dance room. I said, oh shit, I want to try that stuff. And then I started, trying that stuff, like the dance floor game, dancing and all that shit. But when I talk, I used to have an accent. Now I'm very eloquent in my English. But back in the days, my accent was horrible. So the guests couldn't understand in the club, in the middle of the club. They were like, What you say? What?" And then even though they were interested, I noticed I was losing the women because they couldn't understand what I was saying. So I started being quiet and micro escalating and sexually escalating, doing more of a 60s of challenge type of game. You heard of 60? So micro escalation and things like that. So I got really, really good at it. So then I got really good at it. Okay. So by the time the gears realized that that I couldn't speak English, that I had a fucked up accent, it was too late because they were already invested. They were already sexually aroused. It was that shit worked back in the days. It's not gonna work that much today, but back in the day that worked, right? So I would pull and all that, and it was just very easy. It was just a very physical game, right? The girls I couldn't lay, then I would get the text. I started texting, so that's how I got good at texting. So I got really good at texting because I was okay. I cannot talk, so I want to escalate, and then my follow-ups. I cannot talk on the phone. I'm not good at it, so I did. So I did everything that the community says not to do, like don't get them through text. But I was able to manage that. I mean, it wasn't that smooth. I made a lot of mistakes, but then I got it, and then I got really smooth. And then I would use I did a lot of grandmaster style, like a weird form of grandmaster style because I used to watch Howard Stern back in the days. So I started doing a little bit of grandmaster style for texting, and it sure worked. So the guests were getting invested, and they were projecting shit onto me. Like, this is amazing, guys, because sometimes with texting, a girl can project all those feelings of the guy they want into the guy they haven't met, the mysterious guy that was sexing the dance floor. I was texting so crazy, so different. You know what I'm saying? So that's more or less my story. I'm sorry, I just ramble. I'm sorry. Because hey,
It's great.
Case, you can jump in and cut in. I just ramble a lot.
It's all good stuff. That's I know I've been talking to you for years, but I didn't know the origin story, how you got your start, and it's interesting to me. And one of the things I was going to comment later in the interview, because I got a list of questions here, was just about the obvious curiosity that you have about other guys' methods, things that are working, which is something you see with a lot of guys that are very good. That's something you also don't see with most of these guys that aren't getting laid at all. These guys come in, they're like, oh, I don't want to try that. Oh, that's not me. That's not my personality. And you're looking at things, you're like, let's just find the guys that are working and just copy the stuff that's working. I'll just go,
Correct.
this guy's getting results. I'll just do that. And then you try it out and you're like, it works for me too. And you got to have that attitude if you want to get anywhere in anything. And I know you're not just girls, you do sales, you do business as well. And I'm sure you got the same attitude with that too. Just find the guys that are doing what you want to do and copy them.
Model. For example, at one point after I was sleeping around all that, I got one-itis with the gear, right? And I knew I was doing everything, because when you get one-itis, everything it goes to shit sometimes. You know what I'm saying? No O's, because now we're more advanced. We know how to handle one-itis. But when I first got one-itis, even after successful, you get needy, and you lose control, and because you have all this control, this power with women, and then you get one-itis and you lose all that power, right? And you get all needy. All the shit that you know how to do, you become shit, right? So that happened to me. One of the girls that I really, really like, and then I got spammed with and I'm gonna bring it to the forum. I'm gonna do a post, because I see a lot of even intermediate and advanced guys fucking up. David Yangel sent me the 10 biggest mistakes guys make on the dating process or whatever. It was like a marketing shit that he sent in AOL. I know I'm a dinosaur. Me looking at the 10 biggest mistakes that guys make, like trying to logically convince girl to like you, thinking that buying gifts and presents is gonna work, all that stuff, all the things, and all that shit is from us, from the people from us, right? From all the top guys from us. He put it together and he put it like in the marketing shit. And then when I having that one iris and I was getting frustrated and I was gonna give up, I read that shit. I said, "Oh shit, this is what I'm doing wrong. Oh shit, this is what I'm doing wrong." Because I knew I was doing something wrong, but I couldn't articulate because naturals don't know technical game, don't know how to articulate what they're doing. And me reviewing that, I said, "Oh fuck." Then with that little thing, I gave that same gear differently, and then I got that gear, and we were together for like 10 years. And the same shit happened after the clubs died and the millennials went to shit. Like I was used to doing the physical game, right? And that stopped working. And then I got Cosi, the guy from how do you call them? Cody Lions? How do you call them?
Yeah, Cody Lyons.
What's the name of you?
The Cost of Success was what he was called before.
Yeah. So okay. So what happened? So the bottle service, the clubs, the typical game back in the days. There was a period of time that it became like Corona. So the bottle service came in. People, the girls went to Tinder. Down to folk women went to Tinder. All that shit, right? And then I went through a slump. And then I was really stop. I was really against. I was like anti-game. I went through an anti-gaming stage. And then Cody Lyons say, "Skills, listen." Or he the TV sexto, right? Cody was trying to get me. Listen, you need to. Well, right now, all going for green down to Fox, all that shit. That stopped working, right? So I was frustrated. Nothing was working. You know, the things that used to work stopped working because the clubs changed, the club atmosphere. And then Cody Lyons say, Cody Lyons, Seducer, Alex Croston, they were still having success, but I was so stubborn. Like, no, this is what a game, no, all this talking, all this shit. And then Cody Lyons say, "Skills, listen. You know the way you're texting, the way you text, your sexting, how you do indirect sex talk when you're texting. That's what Alex Roxton does. Okay, so what we address, I know you do. You are very good at escalations, but some gears don't know that you're gonna be judging. You know, if you're gonna judge them as a slut, okay, for sleeping fast with you. They don't know you're safe, okay. They don't know your level of sexual competence. They don't know that you're just gonna fake that you're good in bed and you're gonna fuck them and dump them and come in 2 seconds. All that stuff. So what Alex Frosten does is that he indirectly shows those things that you cannot do with certain gears, especially now that the club atmospheres have changed. And then I was like, "Oh shit, now I get it." And then at that time, also by coincidence, then a week after or something, 2 weeks after, it was TV's 10-year anniversary. He came with the 8 orgasm routine. And I read that shit and I say, "Oh fuck, now I get it." And then I was like, "Oh shit." And then I started doing the 8 orgasm routine and I started getting laid like crazy. Like I'm not exciting like 5 years a week. It got to the point that I don't know, I felt weird because every time I did it, the girls had the same reactions. You know what I'm saying? So I started getting like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know how to explain to you. I started getting like weird. Like,
Yeah.
how guys can be so like how can I do the same thing? Like, I started getting numb. So it affected me. I wanted to abandon it. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to abandon it because it was getting too weird. You know what I'm saying? It was getting too predictable.
I had a friend who went deep into routines. He had the same thing happen. He
So you just said that, yeah, that happened to me. Yeah, that happened. Exactly happened to me. And then I went back to my normal gear, and then the results went back down a little bit. Went back down, and I was like, "Fuck!" I feel like. And then I made a post I made a post saying like, "Bro, I feel like I don't know. I feel like empty because I gotta. If I do this, if I'm me, doesn't work. If I do that, they sleep with me. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, man, I'm all over the place. So TV series is a really, really big influence. I mean, people think we don't like each other. Well, because we fight a lot. But I love TV series, and I'm here because of TV. Alex Roswell, also because Alex. He introduced me to 60, introduced me to Sleazy and all that. He's a big influence. That's the reason why I'm in the community, because when I joined the community, like I couldn't get along with anybody, and then TV star Rob Mindless. What's the name of Rob Mindless in Chase?
Oh, Warped Mindless. Jeff Stanton. Yeah.
Yeah, those were the only two guys that I could relate to in MPUF photo, because I was gonna quit because I couldn't get along with it. I couldn't understand anybody. Nobody was getting laid. Well, now I saw how do you call Rob?
Warped Mindless.
Mindless, and then I saw TV star, and I was like, oh shit, those guys are like me. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And yeah. All right, Jace, I'm sorry, I'm rambling, man. I've never done an interview before. This is my first one.
Oh, you're doing great. I've got I've got two questions to ask you, but I guess before we get to the how'd you get into the community one, first one I want to ask you is just don't leave us hanging. So you abandoned the routines, you went back to your natural game, it's not working.
Yes.
You feel empty and hollow. What happened? Did you ride off into the sunset? What happened after that? How'd you fix it?
How did I fix that? Well, I mean, little by little, I came back to, okay, it worked. It stopped. I still kept doing them. No, I just abandoned them a little bit. And then with the gears that were hard to crack, I would, you know what I'm saying? When they were the yellow going to reddish, when I saw that what I was doing, I went back to normal, right? And the yellow that were going to a little bit reddish, when I needed that thing again, then I went back a little bit, and I incorporated some of the TV star stuff, the routines. But the way I do is like I mix a lot of the TV star stuff into one. Okay, so I mix the lower provider, the Madonna Heart Complex, the 8 orgasm routine, the comfort atroz, the McDonald's sex joke that he has a McDonald's sex joke. You heard that one?
I don't know that one.
Okay, you know what McDonald's? I don't do McDonald's sex. You know what McDonald's sex is? Bam, bam, thank you, mom.
Uh-huh.
Like fast sex, like guys are supposed too fast.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's stupid jokes from TV still. The good sex, bad sex. So I mix all that stuff into one. Okay, but I just use right now with Gen Z. Gen Z is very AFC-ish, very very naive. I haven't really had to use it unless the gear is like a really yellow to reddish, because Gen Z, they are very 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 AFC. I don't know. Have you done with it? Have you noticed that or no? They're very very green.
Yeah, they're less socially experienced. They don't know what's going on. They're just kind of
correct. And a lot, and a lot of stuff we used to teach, like the push pull and all the stuff, it can backfire with they go out of rejection easily.
It's overkill.
It's I want to tell you that one thing I learned about you too, the auto rejection shit. That's very awesome. At the beginning, I was like, "What the fuck is this everybody's talking about?" I made a post like, because hold on, in defense to me, everybody that was fucking up in game at the beginning when I joined Skill Seducer, everybody was saying, oh, there went auto rejection. No, bro, you fucked up your game. You fucked up, and everybody was overdoing. Everybody, somebody fucked up the game, right? And they would say, "Oh no, she just went into auto rejection. It's not me. It's cop, like copy. No, it's not me. It's auto rejection." So when I went to Skill Seducer, I was getting pissed because everybody was saying, "Oh no, it's not me. It's not nothing I did. It's auto rejection." So everybody was taking your concept and bastardizing the fucking auto rejection. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that happened.
It's like all the concepts in seduction. You know, people take shit and they bastardize it. So when I came to Skill Seducer, all these guys that have fuck up reports, oh no, it's auto rejection. I say, hold on, that's not auto rejection. You fucked up, brother. You fucked up, brother. But that shit that you say the auto rejection is big. Is a little bit big with Gen Z. If you do some of the push pull sarcasm, a lot of stuff like that can backfire. They're very extensive. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that we used to boss balls, we gears, throw them, fuck around. You gotta be very careful because I don't get it.
Gotta be gentle.
Correct. Yeah.
And
also, you notice that too. Right?
yeah. And I do want to note, auto rejection is not my concept. That's the guy I learned. I didn't originate it, no. But I wish I could take credit for it. It's great.
You are the deep dive guy.
Deep dive. I originate that, yeah. But auto rejection, it's from the guys I learned from. They asked me not to say their name because they don't want to be involved in seduction anymore. Tragedy to me.
So, 40 was yours. About.
I'm like the only guy talking about it. I'm like the last bastion from that school of seduction, which had so much good stuff, but like, they were never that big.
Well, these guys don't want you to mention them, bro.
Yeah, they asked me, hey, we've moved on in our life. We don't want to be involved in seduction anymore. It's a shame because they're brilliant. They got tons of brilliant stuff. One of them wrote a book that never got released. It's just, I went through it. It's groundbreaking stuff. Perspectives different from anything else in the seduction community. I was like, this book needs to be released. And he's like, I moved on in my life. Yeah. To me, this is one of the big tragedies of the community. You get all these guys that come in, they're brilliant, and different guys have totally different approaches and methods. And, most of them can't make money doing it. And it's just the fact of life. Yeah. You can't make money doing it. Eventually, you got to do something else.
Yeah.
You got to find. And then
Especially
the lives move on. Yeah. So this is my original intention with Girls Chase. Let me build a platform where guys can come on. They can share their content, and then they can monetize it. And but then once I started experimenting with it, I found out that whenever you run this kind of business, it's always a guru business. People read Chase, they want to read Chase. A few times I tried to retire. We brought in all these other guys. I'm like, let's get these other guys in here. We'll both build their names up. We'll get products for them. And you do that. But then as soon as I start pulling back, the traffic starts falling off. The sales start falling off. I'm like, that's how it is. Guys they feel like they have a relationship with the one guy that they're reading, and then you try and move them on to somebody else, and it's a whole different challenge.
You deserve a Nobel Prize. I don't know how you deal with all these nutcases like me, especially all this time, bro.
Yeah.
You deserve a Nobel Prize. That's a book you need to write. How to deal with crazy people like the seducers. These divas, all these trolls like me and shit like that. Crazy.
Yeah, even before the seducers, I was this is an interview with you. We'll do an interview with me another time. I can talk about stuff like that. So speaking of the community stuff, so you were out there doing your own thing, natural, and then somehow you ended up involved in the community. How'd that happen? What was your reaction like? Were you like, these guys are crazy? Why are they talking about this stuff like that?
Okay, so again, I got involved with by getting spammed by David D, the 10 biggest mistakes. But David D was smart. He never mentioned the community. He was a smart marketer. He just took everybody's math ideas and put them in a book, right? Double Year Dating. But he never mentioned anybody in the community or the community at all. So what happens is after I gamed my one-itis, she was in Barnes and Noble, and I don't know, one of my cheap dates, and she saw the book, The Game, in the self-help section. She said, oh shit, look at it. She was like, hey, look at this book. And I said, what the fuck is this? And I said, oh, shit. I think I put it back. I drop it off at home, came back to Barcelona. I read the whole book. I said, oh, shit, there are guys like me. There are guys like, because, like people like us is, I don't know, you are normal, Chase. People like me are outliers, you know what I'm saying? So I'm an outlier, I'm not, like, who at my age goes to clubs? Who at my age dressed baggy with a New York hat, with this, the B star? Hey, I got the B star because of you. But anyways, the stash and all the shit. Um, so we are like outliers, it's hard because your friends, your natural friends, they all get married, they move along, and they just like the Seducer, they renounce the community. So then I found, through the book, I said, oh, they have forums, and then I joined the forum, but I joined the wrong forum, which was MPUF forum from gambling. So I go there, and I start. Like I couldn't. Naturals don't know how to articulate what they're doing, right? So I was there, and I was, oh my god, all these guys are like me. They get women. No, the guys that get women don't post. So everybody was like, when you're a natural and nobody knows you, and I'm like, what the fuck? These guys, like, I couldn't get along with them because I couldn't relate. You know what I'm saying? They were doing a lot of mystery method. But back then, it was, they were a little bit, everybody was going back into 60 was starting getting, natural game, 60, what's the name of that guy? DiCarlo? Natural game was coming in and all that, but it was still heavily mystery method. But at that point in time, in that era, mystery method wasn't that strong. That wasn't that good. It was just dying down. It was more a natural game. But these guys were like nerds. They weren't cool. It was the community was nothing like it's right now. Now everybody's cool. Back in the day, we were nerd central, and I couldn't relate, and everybody was nitpicking on me, and I was frustrated because nobody knew what I was talking about when I say, hey, I got fucking clingers. I got stalkers. They couldn't, they thought I was, like, they couldn't relate. So I joined the chat, and I took over the chat because you know how I'm very charismatic in the web, right? So I took over, and I got very popular. And TVster joined, TVA Oslo, Alex Rossman. I'm sorry, I know him TVA. He was like 16, 14, 16 he was. And then they didn't like him there, like, I don't know why they didn't like him, so they banned him, whatever. And he came back, and we got into a fight. Till this day, we still fight, but we're cool, So then we were talking about clubs and shit. I said, oh shit, this guy knows what he's talking about. We got into a mini fight, disagreements. Well, he was, no. We are doing this. Oh, shit. And then he told me about 60 and Explicit. Back then, he was hanging out with those guys, right? And then I met the other one, Staton, Rob Minus. Because I was gonna quit the forum too because it was too much people nitpicking on me. And then TVster told me, bro, join next ASF, right? Next ASF. And then when I went to next ASF, that's where the cool guys, the guys from Mass, was at the beginning when Mass just closed down. All the guys from Mass were there. And that's how I got involved in the community a little bit. Okay.
So I was going to say, one of the things I've noticed is that you are not just interested in women, you're interested in humans in general. You study people, you have a keen fascination for like the types of seducers, the way the guys think, what they pursue, the way they run their relationships. And I think one of the things I've noticed over the years is that naturals are keen observers of human nature in general, whereas a lot of the pickup guys tend to focus specifically on like, okay, what works with girls, and they're just focused on that. Whereas, yeah, you can see this difference in the personality types and what they focus on. Now, I noticed that you're picking apart the guys that you're talking to as well. And another thing that I would point out is that you have an excellent sense of humor, which again, I think we talked about this too before. Like you see this with naturals a lot, is the sense of humor, whereas the pickup guys tend to not focus on that as much. So you see these differences between guys that come from a natural background versus guys that are coming from this pickup background.
Yeah, because but the pickup artists are right because humor diffuses tension. Okay, so if you're just a jester, just making jokes, that's not gonna work. You're just gonna be a jester, okay? Uh, but if you do the humor, if you combine the humor and you fractionate, like Ricardo says, fractionate the humor, and the humor that works is more of a cocky, funny, sexual. So David D was right in that, in the cocky, funny. He learns that from natural, and the Grandmaster sexual works too, but not the Grandmaster. I don't like the Grandmaster sexual direct. I like a little more indirect. A little more. So my humor is more indirect, like a Stray Dog says. Also, the playing dumb, playing stupid. Playing a little bit stupid, because the humor is important also to become charismatic, and also to when you game groups is important. You know what I'm saying? And to deal with cockblocks is important. And to earn the group is important. And humor is good because to be funny, you gotta be smart. So it's a honest signal, and women like that. Women like the honest signal. So the thing is that most POAs are a little uncalibrated because they're. It's not a humor trying to impress. That's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? And it takes time, just like any pickup escalation or routine or anything. It takes time to perfect the timing, the how to do it, what works. But you will have also, you cannot be in the seduction just humor. Again, the fraction action, and then you gotta cut the crap, and then incorporate all the elements of game. Like I do humor more a little bit on the opening hook points, sometimes in the opening, not always, during the hook point and things like that. It's just to get the gear to lower the guard down, to relax. You know what I'm saying? So that helps a little bit. But then I don't keep 24 hours. Again, fraction lecture, and then I combine. Then I cut the crap. In the middle, okay? And I do more like the second gen, like the Alec Roast and stuff, or more micro escalations, more physical escalations. Because again, if you don't fraction it, humor is true, the future tension, okay? But humor is good also because it changes women emotion. You know what I'm saying? And women hate to be bored, so women hate boredom.
That's a great way of putting it. The thing with humor, it's got a lot of uses. You can use it to introduce ideas that maybe there'd be resistance to otherwise, but with humor, just slide the idea right in there. Right. And the other aspect of it is different personalities respond to it differently. There's some girls, it's like they got no sense of humor at all. And you use a little humor, it doesn't work, and I'm like, okay. You get some girls start using humor, you just do it.
See, you gotta be a little careful. Yeah.
You just keep cracking jokes. Meanwhile, you got your arm around her. You're just escalating the whole time. She's laughing, escalating. They're back to the bedroom. That's all you got.
Also, with the chat test, also humor works good too. When handling chat tests and objections, sometimes it's good too. Yeah.
Yep. I think the biggest way the guys get it wrong is they try and use humor in the wrong situations. They use it. They use awkward humor, self-deprecating humor, or they use it in those situations where they're feeling awkward. They should escalate, then they diffuse tension instead. Start using that.
Or Chase, another thing they do wrong is they plow on the humor. You plowing? PLOW.
Oh, plow. Yeah. Can't plow with humor.
What do you say, plow?
Plow.
Yeah, they keep going back. Oh shit, she laughed. You cannot do it there. You got a fraction. That's what I'm telling you. Fraction it. Most of the POAs that I've seen using humor, they keep going. Oh, cool. And then they get really like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
You use it too much, and she goes, first, she's laughing at first. She's like, oh, this guy's funny. You keep going, and she's like, this guy's just a joker. He's just a comedian. I thought maybe it would be more, but this didn't make me laugh.
Correct. But a lot of the nationals, they have that in common, the humor. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll use it, but then they go on something else. All right, so tell me about yourself.
Correct.
Build up the connection. And then when she least expects it, a little humor.
I remember there is a natural saying, she laugh all the way to the bed too, you know?
Yeah, it's 8-2 to Mir.
Yeah.
Or if you can make her laugh, you can make her moan.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
I've noticed about you, you're often dismissive about techniques when you first hear about them. You first hear about it and you're like, I can't see how that would work. And then later you end up changing your opinion on them after you get a different perspective. So one example was the old pickup community, hold on to her hand after your first meter trick. You mentioned how at first you're like, you heard it from 60 years of challenge. You couldn't see how it would work. And then you saw a good looking loser do it in a video in the library and you became a fan of that. So how does this process work for you where you start off kind of skeptical about something and then you're like, I can see that. Then you switch over. And I guess you mentioned earlier too, that using the sex talk, you're like, I'm not going to do that. And Cozy explained it to you a different way.
The biggest one was because you see that a lot of times with the guys that get banned, you see them that they doing things that the technical guys are teaching, okay? But they just have internalized it. Well, they say, but it's too complicated because they don't understand what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like we have a guy in the forum right now. If you read the post, he's posting gears. He's saying, all I do is I look good. No, that guy knows. That guy's really good at game. He knows game. You know what I'm saying? He actually knows their stuff. He knows your stuff. He knows my stuff. He knows because he knows all of that he has incorporated. But he thinks he's doing that. He thinks he's not doing what we're doing. But he's doing that. But he's denying. He's just in denial. But and people fighting with him, and because he's a little bit contracting and want to, you know what I'm saying? They want a posture. You know what I call posture? They want to deny. They want to separate themselves. But I know the guy, and the guy, what he does, everything we teach, the inducing approach invites, the indirect sex talk, all that stuff. He's doing it. You know what I'm saying? But when you read his posts, I just look good. No, that's not what he does. He does a lot of stuff. He does hoovering. He does pre-approach. He does the walk. A lot of stuff we teach. So what happens is that a lot of the naturals, like when I joined the community, I used to troll on mystery method. I used to be a hater. Even and I used to be a hater of no, not a hater. I used to say I used to say about Tvster because back in the days he didn't write like now. But I used to say Tvster is a genius, philosophical, intellectual sex talk. I used to call it like that. But now that I got it, all of that, I understand. Like mystery. Look, from mystery. Peacocking. That works. You know, but it's not peacocking wearing a hat. It's dressing modern, dressing different. The stash that we have, you and I have, I got it from you. The stash, the hat, whatever, the baggy style, you know, the tattoos. So that's peacocking, right? That's the dancing. Dancing is to induce approaching backs. The 3 bounce method, the 3 bounce. Okay, so all that stuff when you read it, because what they call it, you tend to ridicule because you don't understand it as a natural. You guys understand it because you've been in the community forever. But when you're a natural and you're reading all this stuff, you don't understand what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I know the activity stuff is genius. And I had no idea. And I had his book. I had all this time the orgasm in his book. And until he did the 10-year anniversary, and Cody Lyons brought the second generation explaining that you're just addressing the objections of the girl sexually, every objection before it happens indirectly, okay? Showing that you're sexual competent with the 8 orgasm routine, that you show sexual authority, that you get the gear, that you're not gonna judge it as slow. All that stuff is the second gen. But when I was looking at the guy we cannot mention and all that, talking like poets, it's weird. You know what I'm saying? It causes a lot of friction. You know what I'm saying? As a natural. But then when you get it, you're like, fuck. You see, like now I don't consider myself a natural. You know, like I'm not a natural. Like, and I used to think that naturals were better than PUAs, but no. It's like what I say. I have a post that I made. The fallacy of seduction to sex. It's like you comparing good naturals with bad PUAs. You know what I'm saying? But good PUAs and good natural. I even though I think a good PUA that knows all the shit he's doing, like TV, like Alec, he can be the natural. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows every. You know what I'm saying? But we don't know what he's doing, so we interpret, oh shit, that doesn't work. And you still see it every couple of months. You see like a cool natural joining the forum, and it's like, you know, like fighting. And I know because I was there. You know what I'm saying? So I know I can relate to the problem with the natural because I was there. He just still hasn't gotten to the maturity seduction level where he understands what that other guy is doing. Okay. But that's the good thing about you, Chase, and your blog, that you combine everything and you make it, you make it digestible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I went all over it. I'm sorry, bro.
No, that's
Chase, this is my first interview. You gotta take a break.
so you're doing
How's my
you don't need
English?
to keep it.
Hey, how's my English?
Oh, your English is fine. I'll probably get captions up here anyway, so just in case the guys that are bad with accents can follow along. But one of the things you mentioned, a good PUA could be a natural. That's one of the things I noticed early on. So when I first got into this space, I had some talented natural friends. I'm watching the pickup stuff. Like I had like this DVD series of mystery interviews, and I'm watching Mystery talking, and I'm like, he's explaining the techniques that he's using, but what he's not explaining is the way that he talks, the way that he looks, his expressions, his voice tone. He's got all these really attractive things going on, and you can tell that he's basically a natural at this point. And there's all these little things happening below the surface that if you look at a guy that's brand new, that's trying to use pickup techniques, like he'll say the words that he got from Mystery, but he's missing all this natural game that Mystery's developed from years of experience in the field, figuring out all this stuff, which was one of the problems that we had with the early seduction community, because all these guys would learn these routines and they'd be going out repeating them in like a monotone voice, expressionless. They called them social robots, because they're just going out and repeating these things, and then it's not working. You're like, oh, the techniques don't work. It's like, wow, there's a lot more to it than just saying the words. You got to have the delivery. You got to have the performance. It's not just, it's the art of seduction, not just saying these words. But yeah, there's a whole lot to it that just depends on what the guy is studying. And then, guys try and study a natural game and they ignore the words and they think, oh, I don't need techniques. I just got to, get the body language right. But there's more to it than that. There's this all these different dimensions.
So the naturals are doing the same as the pickup artists are kind of doing technically, but more with the sub-communications, with the behavior, with the micro escalation and all that. You know what I'm saying? So it has its place, it has its place, but yeah, but I don't get into that now that I'm in the seduction. That now is, I don't think anybody's a natural anyways. Who is a natural? We all do the same shit. Like when I meet the girl, most of the times I do the same shit. It's the same shit. We're all unnatural. You know what I'm saying? Natural just got started without books and before, but they fell too. And they were seeing what works, what doesn't work. It's all about optimization, right? Game is about optimizing. I don't give a shit about natural, technical. Is do what works, right? Like the guy do what works. It's what works that I care about.
Absolutely. So now, one of the things I've seen you mention that I also think myself, but I can't recall having heard anybody else say it, is if we shift over to some of your technical game. So is that the point of your opening is to buy time with a girl. So like
Yes.
just saying, for me, so long as I can get enough time with a girl, she's probably going to get hooked in. She'll at least be very intrigued, but you have to be able to get her to stop and stick around for those first few minutes. So now you mentioned needing that time to get a read on her so that you know how to game her, which I also agree with. So what are you looking for to calibrate during that initial period where you're buying time with your opener?
Yeah, so the goal of when you open the girl, you want to see where is she at. Is she like is she a maybe girl? Is she a red girl? Is she a yellow girl? Yellow? Is she a neutral girl? Not interested girl? Or she's a little bit more friendly, more what we call greenish, and that opening just give you a window to calibrate to how you're gonna proceed and how you're gonna proceed transition, so you can say to hook. Okay, so if she's a little bit like that, you calibrate. Hey, I didn't mean to stutter you, to scare you or whatever. So you can pull a little bit back. If she's more greenish, you can be like more like close, more like suave. So the goal of the opener is more of a buying time, so you can calibrate your what you're gonna do to what the girl is giving you. Okay. So because it's you have all these stupid fights about direct, indirect, and all that stuff. Now Neo direct, that's horrible. That's horrible. Like I like when you and TV Star were talking about Neo direct. I was like, what the fuck are these guys talking about? Are they posturing? What is this Neo direct? But you clarify the pause. But the opening and expecting the girl to sleep with you from the opening, that's retarded. That's not gonna work. Have fast attempts. Blow me in, blow me out. That's very inefficient game because you're gonna be burning a lot of leads. But when a good direct game can work, especially in a fast situation in day game or in countries like more aggressive countries like Brazil, you know, or language barriers, like you cannot be can open in direct sophisticated, So the direct has its place. You know what I'm saying? Your guy Hector, he's direct, right? He's more direct.
Yeah. He's very direct.
Hector is, yeah. So it works for him, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't know that the directing direct stupid. Like I love situational. For me, the best one is situational openers. But you can always have a situational right there. So when nothing comes to mind, sometimes you gotta you gotta go direct. Hey, how's your night going? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Certain situations, you're not going to stop her on the street and open and direct.
Yeah, okay, yeah, of course, yeah. Also, you agree with that? Okay, so you're not 100% direct.
You're not going to stop her on the street and be like, "Hey, so pretty cool city, right? So where are you off to?" This is a weird reason to stop somebody. How are you doing on time, by the way? Do you have plenty of time to talk, or you got something coming up later?
Well, I have $1 million contract there.
Oh,
$2 million client. He wants to me to show him the Pico.
Oh, I mean, if he's paying you $2 million, it's paying you $2 million. So now you've talked about some of the ways that you build relationships with staff at venues you frequent. So Christmas gifts for bouncers, for instance. How important do you think it is to have a few consistent venues and build your relationships with the staff there?
Oh, that's huge. That's huge. Like, it's huge because it gives you pre-selection, right? Let's say you meet a girl and she sees you going into all these clubs for free. I had a late report where a girl thought I was like a multimillionaire, like a CEO, like a multimillionaire CEO, because she was like, "You're somebody important. How come we getting all this stuff for free?" So what I do, Chase, that's a good technique that I want to talk about. That's one of the important techniques. Every time I go to a club, I say hi to the new guy, hi to the doorman, like a fucking politician. Hi, how's your night going? Cool. When I come in and when I come out. And on Christmas, yes, in Christmas, I never pay entry. And on Christmas, to the doorman and sometimes to the cashier or to the promoter, I give them $50. like 50 or $100 every Christmas. Hey, Merry Christmas. And they go, wow, nobody does that. And you don't even need to do that. They're so impressed. That shit is gold. That shit works. Because right now, with the way the clubs are so inconsistent, you need multiple venues, you know? So that way, if a venue sucks, you gotta go to another venue. Or if you're in a venue and there are 2 or 3 fuck bodies that you fucked and they're right there, it's gonna be uncomfortable to do pickup. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna give you. It's not approach anxiety. I don't know how you call that anxiety. Maybe you can write a block. But if you have 3 girls you fucked and you're gonna pick up another girl, you get a little bit of anxiety. I don't care who you are.
Drama and anxiety.
Just look at it. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's like post-fuck anxiety. I don't know what the fuck. So sometimes when you're in a girl that you were at the club and you were like messing around and the girls, maybe other girls saw, or it's gonna be uncomfortable to follow up if she sees you with another girl, then you want to bounce to another club, okay? Or also when you're in a club and you just want to, get laid and do the 3 bounce method from Mystery, you want to move it from the club, and when they see you going in for free and not doing the line, that shit is pre-selection, right? And that shit helps you because clubs are also expensive. $30, $40, $20. Multiple clubs, that's gonna add up, And you need repetition. When you go to clubs, the more repetition, the better you're gonna get. Okay? The better you're gonna get, and in multiple nights, that will be crazy, right? So it's good. That's a good technique. So yeah, every time I come to the club, hey, how you doing? I go in. When I go out, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? How you doing tonight? Thank you, brother. Have a good night. Always tap them on the shoulder or give them the high. And then with time, because the bouncers are going to change. When it is a new bouncer or a new doorman, and he sees that the old doorman, when he sees the other staff member leaving you for free, monkey see, monkey does. The next time, he's going to let you in for free. And the different generations of bouncers are going to keep doing the same in the same area. I don't know if I'm explaining myself correctly, but
Perfectly.
So that works to my advantage. You know what I'm saying? So I think I save, I don't know, like thousands of dollars. Like probably like a house I can buy with all the money I'd save in clubs. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's a good technique. Also in Christmas, hey, I go on my Christmas ad. Oh, let me see. What is it? Yeah, the Christmas ad here. Right, yeah. I go on my Christmas ad. I put a Christmas ad and I go to the clubs. I go on my Christmas hat and I go like
It's kind of unique because it's a blue Christmas hat. It's a red.
with the lights pull out, yeah. You see with these lights, I put it on
Oh, it's got lights in
and
it.
I go ready. I pick up with that and I go to all the bouncers, Merry Christmas and shit. Cool. Every Christmas I do.
So, Skills, let me ask you a question. You've got a brand new venue. You've never gone there before. You don't know the doorman. How do you go from being just a random guy that they don't know? They're standoffish with you. They don't want you touching them. You got to pay the cover to get in. How do you get to the point where you're chums with the bouncers and they let you in for free? No waiting in line, no cover.
Okay, so that will happen. That will happen after you keep going to the club. It's gonna happen from the 3rd to the 5th time. But again, you gotta, how you doing? What's going on? They see you. They keep seeing you. Hey, listen, I don't want to pay cover. I'd rather buy you a drink. That's one line that works too. But with time, they're gonna see you regularly. It's been so long that I've been doing this for so long that I haven't paid cover that I don't even remember because it's been so long. Because as I said, when they get the new guy, the older guy, and also when they close the club and they open a new club in the area, same stuff goes to the new club. So it's been so long since I haven't paid. But again, they see you with girls. They see me being the life of the club, the life of the party. How you doing? You're seeing with different girls all the time. So And then eventually I just don't go through I go through the VIP line or through the exit line, and I go confidently. And I say, hey, with I don't know, man. It's been so long, and if one day if you come to the area, you'll see me. I'll go in the clubs of like free, like everywhere for free.
Yeah, no worries. Just asking if you got a technique. Same thing for me. That's been my experience. You just go enough times. You talk with the guy cool. If you see him in the venue, you go there early when there's not too many people there. Just take time to talk. You chat him up. You're cool with him. And then at some point, you're waiting in line. The guy just waves you up. He's like, come on, man. You don't have to wait in line.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then the other guys see it, right? The other guys see it. And then, and then with time. Also, you don't need to.
Yeah.
I thought you didn't do night game. I thought you didn't do night game anymore.
Yeah, I started out as a night game guy because I was like, I got to go somewhere I can practice talking to girls. I'm way too nervous to do it during the day. I was doing some day game, but I don't want to be street stopping girls and stuff like that. I'm like, you go to the club, have some drinks. Nobody knows who you are. It's totally dark. Way better.
Yeah.
That was a lot easier for me starting out. So now you've got a lot of amazing guides on texting, pulling girls from clubs, getting girls to relax, the infamous Pico move, using the pinky swear to create plausible deniability. That one's hilarious. It's recovering from breakups, the works. And you say on your blog that it's natural. It was and you were saying earlier, it's very difficult for you to learn how to break down interactions in simple steps between men and women the way pickup artists do. Obviously, that's a very different story today. So how did that change?
Yeah, so basically reading your blog, reading different posts, reading different books, and learn more or less, with experience, I learn more or less how to articulate better. Seduction, I got better and better with time. Just like you, probably like you, right? With time you became a better writer, right? A mastery, right? So at the beginning, I couldn't articulate. So I read every book, almost every seduction book. Okay, then they became repetitive, but then be part of the community. I've been 15 years. I mean, I hope I probably learn how to articulate better. Still, sometimes I make some mistakes. That's why I told you to please change the editing of the blog, because sometimes I catch myself doing mistakes because the way I'm talking right now is the same way that I write. I don't edit. So I'm lazy. I need to start editing because the way when something comes to my head and I write a post, I start just writing. But yeah, man, I just got much better. Seducer was a big help on that too. I want change another thing that I want to tell you about a big difference from naturals and pickup artists is that most natural has the Madonna whore complex. So most naturals have Madonna whore complex, right? When I joined Next ASC, the TV star was the one that helped me. They programmed the Madonna whore thing, okay? But that's just something I want to throw in there that one of the difference between naturals and pickup artists is the big Madonna whore complex. That's huge because I was crazy with the Madonna whore complex, and then TV star, reading TV star, TV Oslo, hanging out with TV star, not hanging out with him, like being part of forums with him, being part of chats with him, being part of Next ASC where everybody was like more open. That helped me it changed my thing, and that was huge because that helped me. That helped me a lot with the relationships after. With the seduction too, because I'm Latino, right? So Latinos, they have the stereotype of being macho, being controlling, being jealous. So that helped me a lot, getting rid of that Madonna whore complex. That improved. Just doing that improved my name, my game a lot from transition from natural to like a hybrid. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I'm just rambling.
So for the guys who are listening, the way that Madonna whore gets used in the seduction community is basically the guys seeing some girls as good girls who are pure and not really sexual, and other girls as bad girls, that are naughty sexual girls. And guys will not want to date the naughty sexual girl for a long-term relationship. They want the pure good girl. And and it's a thing in the seduction community that people try and deprogram from that and see, you know, women are all the same. They've all got these sides to themselves. Also, they're going to present themselves how they are. So the question for you, Skills, you said it helped you with relationships. How did changing your perspectives on that help you with your relationships?
Okay, because you see how you do the deep dive. I do the sexual deep dive. The sexual deep dive is not gonna work. The sexual deep dive is like finding out, you know, about her, about her sexuality, about crazy shit she has done, about her past relationship, sexual past relationship, all the stuff. If you have Madonna whore, as Seducer says, the girl is gonna sell purity. So when you're deep diving, when you're sexual deep diving for the relationship, right? When you're doing the deep dive, the sexual deep dive, she's gonna either stay omit a lot of stuff, so she's not gonna open up fully, or she's gonna tell you what you want to hear. You know what I'm saying? So, I did a threesome. She's not gonna say that. She's gonna say, "Oh, I've been with a guy for 5 years. I never cheated on that guy. No, I'm not that type of girl." So if you cannot get a girl to open up sexually and find out her history, okay? For example, I'm big on the history of cheating. If you cannot find out the crazy shit she has done, the things, even though that could give you a forecast into the future and how the relationship is going to be a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? So there are no surprises. So if you have Madonna whore as a natural and you're possessive, she's not going to be 100% herself. She's going to be a fake version of herself selling purity. You know what I'm saying? And she's not going to be honest. One of the most important things in relationship is trust and honesty, right? She's not going to be honest, and she's not going to trust you because she's going to think you're going to judge her. So that's horrible. So Madonna whore is horrible. So the guys from the Next ASC, especially Alec Ralston, JWS. Oh, he used to play for JWS. I don't know his name in Czech.
I think we just had a Joseph W. South. This is Joseph Winsett.
Yeah. Alec Ralston with the Madonna whore. Also, Alex Ralston told me about the Secret Society post from back in the days when he was 16. His Alec Ralston favorite post was the Tyler Durden before he went back in the days, the Secret Society post. I know we don't like we don't agree with a lot of his RSD because they take things, but that post, that was the Secret Society post, that was TV's their favorite post, and then he updated that post into the lover provider and Madonna whore complex. That's one of I memorized that for years. That was my sex talk combined with the Grandmaster, right? With the direct Grandmaster time. I call it Grandmaster 2.0. So the Grandmaster 2.0 and that post of Tibert is the lower provider, the Madonna whore. That was my whole sex talk back in the day. Before I learned second gen and the 8 orgasm and the purity gambits and all that stuff, all combined that I did. But back in the day, that was all my sex talk. But that's crucial for the guys not to have Madonna whore complex, because the girl, even if you pretend you don't have Madonna whore complex, she's gonna see from the subcommunications that you have it. Your actions will betray you. Just like a girl that says, "Oh, I have a boyfriend," and she's looking you up and down, that she's saying she has a boyfriend but the actions betray her, and you know she's down to fuck, right? It's the same concept. If you have Madonna whore complex, even if you pretend you don't have it, the girl is gonna read into that, and she's gonna sell you purity, and she's gonna, it's gonna be BS. The relationship is gonna be bullshit, to be honest, okay? And it can backfire, okay?
So here's so I want to give some perspective on this, because I feel like guys in the community, even guys that are talking about don't have Madonna whore complex, but they have different they like
Correct.
Don't have it to a different level, you might say. You know, if you got some like super open relationship guys who are like, what does it matter if she, whatever she's doing, whatever her past is like, it doesn't matter because you should still have a relationship with her anyway. But you've got your history of cheating post, which is, you got to find out her history of cheating, because if she has a history of cheating, then that's not a girl that's going to be so well matched for, a monogamous relationship. Now, maybe one of the hardcore open relationship, the Donna Whore guys would say, whoa, that shouldn't matter. If you really don't have a Donna Whore, why would you care about that at all? But I think there's a certain, it depends on the dynamic of the relationship you want to set up to a certain extent. Like if you're actually going to set up something where you expect some degree of monogamy from the girl, then of course her prior experiences are going to have an impact in whether she fits for that role. But you can't be mental.
Chase, let me ask you, have you met all these so-called hardcore poly guys? Because it's all bullshit. They're cope. Listen to me. All these hardcore relationship guys, right? Is fuck bodies that they don't give a fuck about, right? Or the main, right? But the main, they say is open, but it's bullshit. It's like they know that the main is not gonna do anything. So there is no such thing as hardcore poly. Who is hardcore poly? Because I haven't met him in the community yet. It's all cope. It's just posturing. I'm telling you, there is no such things. Okay, there is no like all these.
I've talked. So I haven't met them personally. I've talked to a few of these guys. It'll be like, yeah, my main, she's out like getting other guys. I don't care at all. Like sometimes we talk about it. Yeah. I'll tell you, there are guys that legitimately, they're like, I don't care about it at all. And when I was coming up, so I think it's like a psychological thing. And some of these guys will be like, you gotta get to that point. And I've seen some of them try to deprogram. They'll call that deprogramming from a Donna Whore too. And I've seen them try and deprogram some other guys, and then it just doesn't take. These other guys will be like, I took my girlfriend to this X club, and I thought it was going to be cool, and then she was banging this dude, and I felt jealous. And then the Donna Whore guys will be like, you got to get through that, man. You shouldn't be feeling that emotion at all. But it really depends on the guy. So I mean, you got to get to the point where you can talk to women about sexual topics and not get jealous and not be judgmental. But at the same time, if you want a relationship where you expect exclusivity from the girl, you're also going to be doing some screening. You're not just taking whatever.
What I'm talking about, what I'm talking about is in the context of guys that are looking for LTR, which is 95% of the guys from Skill Seducers, right? The poly guys is just like a small, like how many, like in the forum, like 5 guys, maybe.
It's a small.
I'm talking about it. Yeah, it's a small percentage. And have you met those guys? They're a little cuckoo. Like they have no emotions. Like they're weird. You know what I'm saying? They could be like they could be like killers. Like I don't want to mention names. Have you met those guys? Have you met those guys? Because I had them in groups.
Talk to some who are chill.
You know.
So some of them are chill. Some of them are definitely the nutcase types. Yeah,
they're chill, but they're not like really. I don't know how to explain. They're not normal. They have like they like have no heart. It's weird to explain, bro. It's like have you ever met psycho killers that kill people and they have no emotions? Yeah, they're not like just
psychopaths. Yeah, they've got the outer veneer of emotion.
It's not a psychopath. It's like they have no emotions. Later, I'm gonna tell you who it is. I'm gonna tell you some of those guys. But they are not wired like most people. They're wired a little different. That's my point. But I don't know the guys that you know. I'm talking about the guys that I have met that are like hardcore poly guys.
Sure.
They like have no. They cannot get attached. They're like fuck. They're like numb. You know what I'm saying? They're like it's gone.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Some of them have
I don't have
issues.
Yeah, they have a little bit of attachment issues. Yeah. Yes, so I'm talking about in the context of LTR. I'm not talking about poly guys. I'm talking the importance of Madonna Whore. No, for the it helps for the poly guys a lot, okay. But I'm talking about the when you're also betting for an LTR, okay, for a long-term relation, or main, even if it's bully, for the main queen. You know what I'm saying? Anyways,
Yeah. So I don't want to say anything too alienating to those groups because I'm sure some of them are going to be watching as well. I guess let's change speed here.
yeah, let's just busy.
So let's talk about some of your techniques. So you talk about using singing as an opener and to get approach invitations. This is something that I stumbled upon in college. So I had a night where I was singing to myself walking back home from the bars, and this beautiful girl just basically jumped on me. She came right up to me. She got very physical. She started pelting me with all these questions, smiling all over, and their friends intervened and pulled her away. And I was like, well, that's crazy how that works. Just walking around singing to yourself.
Yeah, that's and Alan Reyes Gomwish. He has the hoovering, right? So what you doing with hoovering is just the girl is just seeing you, right? Seeing you. So it's just easier to open. It's the same with singer. You're singing. Why are you so communicating? You're a happy guy. You're carefree. Don't care what anybody says. So that's a honest signal. So for some reason, it's like the same concept. It's just make it easy to open versus coming out of the blue and starting the gear. How do you call it? Startle?
Yeah.
Like it's getting the gear.
Startle.
Yeah. Like it's starting the gear. So it's a way to it just work, especially if it's a popular song that is funny and catchy. Like for example, it depends on the song. The song has to be right too. Like with the Ari 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 Ari, that helped. That with that I opened a lot of gears with Ari Ari. But back in the days there was another one. I forgot the other one, but there are certain songs that are more like easier. You know what I'm saying? That more party vibe, more easy to open. I get you.
Yeah. She's with her a lot in the bars, and then you're singing it. She's like, "Oh, it's that song."
And also in the clubs, it helps when you're on an open, when you're mimicking, because everybody at the club, especially Gen Z, they're like this or with a beer here. So if you got a guy, he's walking, because I don't know the fucking songs because English is my second language, so I don't even know most of the songs. So I just like pretending that I know the fucking song, and it's the girl. With the singing, you're forcing an approach invite to. Think about it. When you're singing or faking singing, you're forcing an approach. You can force approach invite because the girl is gonna be like, "Oh shit, this guy." Everybody in the club is like this, or pretending to be cool, and you're like singing to a song. So you know what I'm saying? You can you're hoovering, you're forcing AIs, right? So yeah, you have high odds. Have you agree with me? Me and you said reach the same conclusion. Singing is a high level open, include in day game too. In day game works too. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're walking around, and again, song matters, but if you can't tell what you're saying, then it doesn't matter. But
songs doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that much, but what I was trying to make a point that some songs, like the Ari 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 in the nighttime, that one open more than singing opens, right? All of them works. What I'm saying, some songs, for some reason, like you pick up more with those songs. You know what I'm saying? Like a couple of years ago, the Ari Ari one, that was easier to open with that shit. That was so easy to open with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Some catchy songs that are popular. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
If you're walking around singing some sad song, then you gotta get in the right mood.
Correct.
So I noticed that you talk about the competition with women, the topic that you bring up. So you ask her how it's going with guys, and she complains, and you tell her, "Good for me, competition non-existent." If she says it's going well, you say, "Glad to hear that. I welcome the competition. That will just make you appreciate me more when you get to know me." So you're very clearly framing things right from the start that this is a courtship. It's not a platonic conversation. It's romantic, while still doing it in this lighthearted way. And I think you mentioned that on the forum that you do that with online, do you do that in person as well?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I welcome and I do a lot of future projections, right? I welcome the competition after you get to know me. After you get to know me, and you find out how cool I am and how amazing I am, you don't want to be you will not want to be with anybody else and shit like that. So I do a lot of future projection. I encourage competition, But when the competition is just addressing an objection, right? It's addressing the objection, right? Oh, I welcome the competition. Yeah, that will make you like me even more on shit like that. So you frame it, you flip it. You're just flipping the whole thing, right? I welcome competition, and because that just will make you like me even much more when you get to know me and shit like that. So
So now, normally in seduction, one of the big mentalities that a lot of guys will teach, and I usually recommend this myself, is I'm the prize framing, where you frame yourself as the prize. She's trying to get you. So, but then when you're doing this, you're kind of framing it the other way. So you're saying, well, you're competing for her. So do you flip it back at some point to where now she's having to compete to get for you? Or do you not care about the prize framing? What's your...
well, you gotta be careful with price framing. We can see a little bit of price framing. We can see is doesn't work as well. But I know what you're saying. But what is the context? Like she has I welcome. I What is the context of the conversation? What is the gear doing?
So you want like a scenario where, okay, so let's say you approach a girl in a bar and you start talking to her and you ask her, how's it going with guys? And she says, oh, not that great. And you say, great, not too much. I know I'll be blowing the competition out of the water. So at some point, are you going to start framing it as actually she's competing for you? Or, she's got to get her spot in line, or however you're going to phrase it, or are you just not worried
Yep.
about that?
I think you're talking. I think I do that. I don't do that in the clubs. In the clubs, I don't. I haven't. I don't use that in the clubs. I do. That's more for online gaming.
Yeah.
That's
Just kind of pacing the reality, I guess, because there's a tons of guys in our inbox, so it is a competition. Or is it competition?
that's more. That's more used to is for online. For online, because we are. Because I have a structure from online, and then one of the questions is after they open, when she responds, how are guys treating you here? Like, how are guys treating you here? And depending on that, that's one of the lines. One of the lines, like, I welcome the competition after you get to know me. Like, I welcome the competition once you get to know me. I frame it like she's gonna like you. You will appreciate me more or something like that. But that's more for online. I don't do that. I don't really do that in the clubs. In the clubs, I don't do that much.
Gotcha. Okay, it makes sense. Then it's contextually dependent. So when you're online, she's got tons of guys bombarding her, so you're just acknowledging the reality, like, okay, there's a lot of competition, but they're nothing compared to me. Whereas in the club, it's just you and her. Maybe she's talked to a few other guys that night, but they're not really competition for you anyway. No need to bring it up. And you can set up.
In the club, I've been more like a lot of a lot of creepers. I ring the creepers, like, wow, a lot of creepers tonight or something like that. And then I do a little more second gen, because with the creepers you can do a little more second go transition into the second gen stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we have one like man, this guy was just talking to one of the routines from. It's like we just saw a guy that he was talking to this girl, because the girl wasn't giving him the reaction he was looking for. He was calling her like a slut and a whore, and they just walk away. You know what I'm saying? So that way you can transition a little bit more into second gen. That's the one we use more in the clubs. You know what I'm saying? The other one about the competition, I welcome competition. That will make you like me a lot more. It's more for apps, for online. not for plugs. I don't do that in plugs.
Copy that. And when we say second generation, that's the name for basically like sex talk, that sort of thing, where you're talking about how, essentially you're setting frames that you don't judge, you're sexually experienced, sexually prized.
Also, second gen is a little bit of is Alex Rosten, but what happens is back in XAFC the guys came out, they took the NLP, the routine based games, all of that, and they optimized it to the new gen, to the new environment. Okay, not energy stuff. Okay, so more like TV star, like adapted it, took the NLP concepts, the routine concept, and he adapted it. And what he does is indirectly addressing all the future possible objections that the gay is gonna have before you have sex with her, right? So what are the objections? She doesn't know if you're safe, right? She doesn't know if you're safe. You're gonna kill her if you're a killer. I personally, I'm Latin, so I'm gonna address the jealousy concerns, right? I'm gonna address the jealousy concerns. So I'm gonna use the Madonna whore complex a little bit routine. Okay. She doesn't know if you're good in bed, or if you just gonna fake it. Okay. She doesn't know if you have sexual authority, that you know what you're doing in bed. She doesn't know if she's gonna get fucked and dumped. You know what I'm saying? If she's gonna be comfortable, she can trust you. She's not gonna you're just gonna fuck her and dump her and treat her like shit after you don't. Okay. So all those things, all those possible objections that cause at the end the ASD, you can do it like I used to do back in the days, and sometimes I can do it right now with subcommunications. That's what naturals do. They address all that with the subcons. But with some girls, subcons is not gonna be enough. So then you have to address those things. So when people sometimes in the forum says they don't get the context what I'm talking about, because sometimes when I say I haven't had to use second gen a lot with the Gen Z, is that I have my subcons as a natural game have gotten me late without having to address the objections. But not all the girls are like that. There are gonna be a lot of girls. You're gonna have to address those objections. Those are the most yellowish to reddish, right? The yellowish. There are yellowish to green. There are green, and there are the yellowish to the neutral girls. Yellowish to reddish. With those girls, you have to address the possible objection that she can give you not to have sex with you. Okay. Hey, have you ever been with the Latin guys? I'm gonna do a little bit of this. Have you ever been with you know what they say about Latino guys? You never heard what they say about Latino guys? We don't like sex. We hate sex. No, we like good sex, and I hope you have a standard suit. Okay, most guys, they're no, they don't know what women want. They just do McDonald's sex. You know what McDonald's sex is? Bam bam, thank you, mom. That's from TV. The only joke TV has in 20 years that I heard. But we Latin guys, we're not like that. We want you to be comfortable, to open you up sexually, to be able to be yourself. Most guys judge women like slut and whores. Okay, they think or women is pure and correct or a total slut. But women are very sexual. Sex is not black and white. Women have it's not like that, right? You know, most guys don't even know that women can have 8 different type of orgasm with the right guy. Do you know what do you know what the 8 different orgasms are? And she say, of course I know. Okay, so tell me. And she won't be able to tell you. And then you go, well, there is a breast orgasm. The breast orgasm, that is the weakest. Then you have the G-spot orgasm. You have the clit orgasm. Okay? You know the clit orgasm. And then I go like this with the finger. I put it on her thigh. I put the finger. This is her thigh. Where? Let's say this is the girl's thigh. And you have the clitoral gas on. I go here and I go like this to her toe. I do that. And then you have the deep spot the D spot. The D spot is the area between the ass and the vagina. There's the deep spot is the spot with the ass and the vagina. When you do doggy style, you need a big dick. And when you do doggy style, you hit that spot with balls. And then you have I got my own adaptations of the TV stuff. Then you have the G spot orgasm. The G spot. You put the finger in, and I go like this, like I'm fucking in like in the theater. You go in and you go the common motions, and then when it gets hard, I make them touch here because I have here harder like a G spot. It feels like a G spot when you touch me here, and then when
You got a callus there?
yeah, I callus, yeah, I can. That's the word. I have a callus here, so when they touch here, you do like this. And when I get like this, and I got her finger, I put it like this, and I go like this, and they come like, but they need to be very hydrated. You gotta be careful because we need to be very hydrated. So I do all this shit, and then you have the use spot or gas, the V spot, which is the area behind the vagina and the G spot, and then you have the mental orgasm. Most women have to be able to trust and be comfortable. And you know that the mind is a very powerful muscle. That's why women have the wet dreams. And then you have the you know which one is number 8? The full body orgasm. They go to you see, and I do a lot of show and shit. And then whatever. So I address all that. So that shit works, bro. That shit gets you laid like crazy. And the girl, you can see the eyes of the girl go like this. And you can see that excitement. They get like all excited. And that's it, man. And then you say, then I go like, listen, before I pull you, you have to meet my dog and shit. You have because unless my dog likes you, no, I cannot be with a girl unless you like my dog, okay? Because my dog is my life. So that's the possible deniability. You can lose. Some guys use art. The after party works. So all that shit. So, but I combine a lot of stuff. I did a weak version of the whole thing, but I do it, to the gear. I calibrate. I do a lot of touching and a lot of escalation. So that's my go-to routine from TV store. That's pretty good. That one gets everybody laid, man. Because I made TV store famous because back in the days, people didn't understand TV store, and the anti-gamers, once I started popularizing the 8 orgasm routine and doing videos and all that shit, everybody started doing the 8 orgasm routine. Even now in the skill Seducer, like most of the guys are doing the 8 orgasm routine. So that shit, like I really popularized it because people knew because I was popular, right, in next ASC, right? But anti-gamers didn't like the routine guys, right? And the anti-gamers like me, not the anti-gamers, the natural guys, right? The natural guys,
Sure.
and they didn't like too much TV stars. So once I did my own post on how I do the 8 orgasm because TV star back in the days couldn't even though the hardest part is to transition. So I started showing guys how to transition. Now TV star then after I made a lot of posts on how to transition. Back in the days he didn't have a lot of good transitions, right? So I used have you been with a Latin guy angle? But there are other transitions. Like we were reading this magazine, blah blah blah. Different guys use different feeds, but I use the Latin angle. Hey, have you been with a Latin guy? I say Latin guys. You never been with a Latin guy? Oh yeah. You know what I say about Latin guys? We don't like sex. We don't like sex. In fact, we hate sex. They go, what? No, we like good sex. And then like, you don't, most women don't know. Most guys don't know. So I say that most guys don't know what they're doing sexually, and then I go into, and that's how I transition into a routine. Okay. So that shit got me laid like crazy. But anyways, hey, Chase. So back in next ASC, there was a divide between a lot of guys, natural guys, and then the technical guys, because the name we cannot mention fucked everything up because he was posturing too much, so rode uh, every rub everyone the wrong way, right? So once I jump in, I I pulled the divide and I unite. So everybody started, oh shit, man, okay, oh, everybody started doing the 8 orgasm routine. So it was cool. So now everybody, that was the most popular routine that TV Star has, the 8 orgasm. I love that routine. That's fucking genius.
That's amazing. You united the factions. So, and I would say, since you're doing it your way now, that it's probably a lot more fun,
Yeah.
and not like when you first started doing the routines and you're like getting the predictable response. You're like, but now you're doing it because it's longer. You're doing a lot more. I'm sure you're probably changing a little bit every time you do it too. So the reactions are changing a little bit, or more of a fluid process. And the other thing I want to point out is that you tie it to the experience of the Latin lover. Have you ever been with a Latin guy? So you're also framing it as like you are this new experience that she can have. She's like, oh, I've been with a Latin guy. Wow.
I'm still doing a lot of subs and escalation while I'm doing the routine too. I'm doing a lot of touching, a lot of subs, when I'm talking about the G spot and all that. So I'm still escalating a little bit, micro escalating when I'm doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That routine is like dumb proof, like bulletproof, like if you do it, it works, because a lot of community guys are naturals. They get the social, right? They have the looks, they have the style, right? They have the subcom, but it's hard for them to bring the sexual aspect. Remember going with three keys: the social, the emotional, and the sexual, right? So from the three keys, most guys have this. Most community guys, even now, even top guys, most guys do the social and the emotional, right? Very few guys have the sexual. That's why TV is so genius, right? Now, I always had the sexual with the Grandmaster style, but that's weak. Even in the regular Grandmaster style, it's gonna be weak to do the sex. I mean, it did work back in the days, but the TV star stuff is more strong because you have more control on the interaction, right? Grandmaster, you still bring the sexual, right? But with TV, there is an atomic bomb because again, you're addressing different things that could cause ASD at the end, right? And if the gear is not complying there, if you don't have it there, it's gonna be like a Hail Mary. It's not gonna happen. It probably won't happen. If that shit don't work, the addressing all the objections, and then you pull, it's gonna be you. There are other things you can do like Cayman Shed and Pico and all that, but most of the time she's gonna be if that doesn't work, because you have an auto control with the sex stuff of TV still is very powerful because you have an auto control. And you bring in the sexual element, right? Because you have the emotional and the social, right? Most natural, most POS. Most POs don't have the sexual. Most POs are missing the sexual element, which is the three keys. The three keys to have a successful seduction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think the sexual part is the toughest part for a lot of guys, because guys get in and they're like, okay, I got to learn the conversation, I got to learn the escalation.
Oh, right.
But they're like, we got to be real careful pushing the sex button. You push it too wrong, and girls get a bad reaction.
Correct. But what TV is
away from it.
what TV does genius is that's why I don't like the direct sex guys, because we have a lot of direct sex guys and they don't get that, because I used to do the direct sex. Direct sex is not gonna work with all the women. They're gonna only work with some greenish, and even with the greenish, you're still putting her in the spot where when she can get aroused, but then she can have a state change and be like, shit, what am I doing? This is too crazy. So that because there are that XX guys, right? And the XX gurus, right? Like Mode One and all those people, right? And the Neo guys, right? The Neo Direct guys. They're very, very direct. But with the TV star shit, the indirect genius is that you are not selling her. You're just talking shit indirectly, and she already sold. So now she thinks it's an idea that she wants sex with you. If you look at TV star sex report, it's already her idea. If you look at all my report, a lot of my reports, it's already her idea. It's not me. I'm making her idea. That's seduction, right? You're not selling. You're not pushing a product. You're just, hey, this is I have this, ta 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 ta, and she's like, oh shit, I think I want that shit, and she's the one. Girls chase, right? Girls chase. So now she's the one now that wants to fuck you, right? Because all these guys talking about what's it, last minute resistance, ASD. I don't get that shit. I don't get that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't get that anymore. I don't get the last minute, like, because they do the whole seduction, they pull, and they go, hey, I have a dick. And the guy goes, what the fuck? What? You have a dick? Oh my God. No, I mean, come on. That's why you getting fucking ASD. You know? That's minute resistance, right? Because you didn't touch her you didn't micro-escalate, you didn't escalate, you didn't bring the sexual topics. So a lot of guys, they study seduction, they're so good, but they don't reach the closing, right? They don't reach the closing part, which is the most important because they don't mean the sexual. It's just they're scared. I feel like they're scared. They feel like they're having an interaction and they're being successful because they're having an interaction, but they're not pulling. They're not putting dick in pussy, right? So they don't, and they're scared. Oh, I'm getting all these good reactions. If I pull, I'm gonna get a negative reaction. So they get like some weird anxiety, like, oh, I'm gonna have sex. No. What if she says no? So that shit from Alec, the direct thing, that avoids that. Okay, that avoids that. You know. So now he said idea. Now she wants to have sex. She's ruling, even if it's bad, bro. Even if it's bad, because now I'm selling all this shit, and this kid is thinking, man, I'm gonna be with a sex god, and then you put it in, and you come in 2 seconds, and you're like, oh fuck, or your dick doesn't get hard, you're like, oh fuck, and you can see the girl face drop, like, what the fuck, bro? Didn't you talk? What are the 8 orgasms that you were gonna give me? What happened? I'm not even wet. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you better back it up too. You better back it up. You know what I'm saying?
And it's a funny point because, you know, kind of the whole thing. Let's say you got like a guy who walks up to a girl and he's like, hey, I'm really good in bed. You know, she's gonna be skeptical because she's heard that before from other guys and they couldn't back it up. And you're coming up, you're basically saying the same thing, but in a much more complicated, convincing way. But of course, maybe you can't back it up. Maybe it's just a routine. So it's kind of the same thing. It's just a better version of what guys are trying to do, but they're not doing very well or very convincingly, or very seductively. You know, this is game. It's just doing what guys want to do anyway, but you're doing it in a much better way, much more skillful way.
Correct. Optimization, yeah.
So one of the things you were talking about earlier was you're talking about, you know, if she's the green girl, you know, the girl that's really interested in you, a green light, proceed forward with her. You know, she's going to, you don't need so much of this stuff. But with the girl that's yellow, that's a red, she's more resistant. She may make conclusions about you that aren't correct. She may be suspicious of you. So you need more of these techniques to go there. And I think when we think about this, you know, a girl that's green, she's just putting onto you these fantasies that she has. She's like, oh, I like this guy so much. Of course, he must be what I think he probably is. She's going to project onto you all these things that she likes. Even if she doesn't know you that well.
Chase, the game is played with the yellows, right?
Yeah, sure.
The game, because that's what TV Alec Rosen, he called the greens the freebies, right? But the real game is playing with the yellows, right? You know what I'm saying? Because nowadays, those greens are online. Nowadays, we're playing the game with the yellows. Okay, mainly with the yellows. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, unless it's I'm talking about night game. Day game and online, I don't know. It's more. You can find the greenish, but in the night game, this generation now you're dealing with a lot of yellows. You know what I'm saying? So, so you, so you need to those guys need to detect looking for greenish. You're gonna bear a lot of leads. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to. That's why people are giving a spike shit too, because a spike is dealing with the greenish, right? And like that, these guys, what's the name? James D. He's dealing with more yellowish. You know what I'm saying? So, but the game right now is being played. I'm not. Obviously, we all want the greens, right? We want to optimize and try to deal with the greens. But the real game, the real seduction, is more for the yellows. And when I was a national, looking like Vin Diesel, looking like a fucking actor at his prime, Vin Diesel back in the days, right? I was dealing with greens, right? And then when fucking Vin Diesel got old, he's not a popular guy now. And then now not even Justin Bieber is the popular guy. It's whoever is the new fucking shit. That's many a reality wake up. I say, oh fuck. So all this that's why the seducers talk about. That's why game is important. Because and I think everybody gotta go through the stage because now we are picking up a lot of people are picking on Spike. But I was where the Spike is back in the days. I was that guy. I was Spike. I was that Spike guy. I used to look like Vin Diesel. I used to do the dance. I had all these girls throwing around me. I was dealing with a lot of greenish, with a lot of that to fuck. There wasn't Tinder. There wasn't online. But then, as the clothes went to the bottle service, women weren't coming out that much. Combs went down. Clothes became more niche. Girls are doing Instagram, TikTok. They get the validation over there. And now I got to deal with the yellowish and red. I'm saying, oh, fuck. No more freebies. Now I got to know what I'm doing. Now I don't have that much room for mistakes. I don't have that room to do numbers games. Not even dance floor game is effective because now, you know what I'm saying? It's not that effective as it was because now you got a game. Now you're dealing with yellows. You're dealing with groups. You're dealing with groups. You're dealing with yellow girls. You're dealing with fucking awkward girls from Gen Z that are fucking AFC as fuck. They're dumb AFC as fuck. Not dumb mentally, dumb socially. So you're dealing with a lot of shit. Now you have game. Now I'm 30 years older than the game I'm gaming. You know what I'm saying? So now you need game. You're not dealing with fucking freebies. You're dealing with the yellows. So a lot of the anti-gamers right now, they're in their prime. Yeah, they have favorable things like traveling or maybe in a situation where it's favorable, where you can. So it's easier. You don't have to do a lot of heavy lifting. You're dealing with the greenish, right? But when you're dealing with the yellow, you have to be optimal. Like the post I make about being optimal. It's not good enough just to show up. You gotta be optimal. So that makes me more technical. So as a national, I became more technical because I had no choice. The DTFs want to fucking apps. And Vin Diesel is not a fucking hot star like back in the days. I used to like Vin Diesel. I used to all the guys, you look like Vin Diesel. So I was getting girls like crazy, easy. No, and now I gotta fucking work. I gotta fucking work. You know what I'm saying? Now I got a game. So I'm dealing with yellows. I'm dealing with yellows to red or don't give me shit. I gotta deal with groups. So it's much harder now. Now you gotta hustle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
By the way, I'm rambling. I'm sorry. Chase, you need to stop me when I'm rambling, bro.
I'm gonna I'm gonna jump in right there. I'm gonna say it's interesting. It's an interesting perspective, and I hadn't really thought about it to that extent before because I'll see guys, sometimes guys that'll come on the Skills Seducer and then they end up leaving, or now that I'm on X, I'm seeing that. So we'll get guys that come on, or like if girls aren't throwing themselves at you, then you're doing something wrong. You shouldn't have to learn all this stuff. You should just, optimize your look or whatever, or find the girls that are really into you. Like you should just have women that are throwing themselves at you, and all this other stuff is just just BS. You don't need this stuff. And I've certainly over the years you'll run into DTF girls or like girls that are real green, but I've never had the situation where I've just got tons of girls throwing themselves at me all the time. I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'm just not handsome enough, or I don't know what it is.
Chase, you know the situation for real?
Well, I've had girls do it to me, but I haven't had it where it's like a consistent thing all the time. Go out and then just like every time there's a bunch of girls throwing themselves at you. So yeah. Sometimes it'll happen, but it's like I'll tell them.
My friend, it's tough. No, but back in the days, it was way more. There were more women, more favorable conditions where you can, even if they don't throw themselves at you, you have more.
You get more
greenish gears, more gears that were out of control. Yeah.
You meet the girl and you flip right away. You don't really need to do very much.
Correct. That's what at the peak of the pickup community. You know what I'm saying? Well, at the peak of the pickup of the community, man, everybody was like having. It was normal having at least 2 a week average for most of the guys. It was normal. For more of the intermediate advanced guys, 2 girls a week. 3 girls a week, it was normal.
And I think it makes it a lot easier for new guys to get into it too, because the new guys get in, they get some early success, and they're like, hey, this can work. Whereas when you don't have that as much, guys.
Correct. That was back in the days. Correct. That's why also the pickup community has that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because now all of that has gone to online. So those guys that are fucking 2, 3 a week is from online, right? I mean,
most of them.
Seducers traveling. I mean, different conditions. A lot of traveling. Look at my friend the Belicious, right? He went to Brazil. He was doing how many girls? He got like 3, 4, 5 girls, like a bunch of girls, right? In Brazil. He wasn't doing that. And the same with the wasn't it Peter? I don't know Peter's name in the phone. But different guys, you can see that in the home city they're struggling. They travel and they're going sex rampage, right? They're going crazy, right? Or online they're banging consistent, right? But in night game that has slowed down a lot. Not compared to back context compared to back in the days, right? Because now we're dealing with more yellowish. The DTF girls. The greenish girls have gone to online and gone to apps. So when they go to clubs and shit like that, they're just going for the Instagram or for socializing. So you see a lot of hot women. They go to the club, they do the Instagram, they dance, they go back home all together. You don't see guys pulling like back in the days. No, back in the days, it was high five, everybody pulling girls to the bathroom, pulling girls to the home like crazy. You don't see that anymore. So my point is you're dealing all you're dealing right now. If you don't know game, it's gonna be a little more, much more harder because you're dealing more with. You're not dealing with freebies. You're dealing with more yellowish girls. You know what I'm saying? That's my point. Okay. So when you see all these guys like, oh, do neo direct, right, or go up to the girl and be sexual direct. Yes, that used to work back in the days. Of course, yes, because you have 20 girls down to fuck at the clubs. You don't have that. You be lucky if you see 1 or 2 girls that are your type at the club nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very inconsistent. I'm not talking about spring break. I'm not talking about fucking Halloween. I'm talking about consistency. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, Chase, I'm rambling. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My point is, people are game is on with the yellows.
Yeah. And on that topic of getting these girls their yellows and turning them more green, one of the ways that we do that is by making the girl feel a lot more understood. like you really get her. She's deeply connected to you. And you have a technique that you call the autobiography technique. So you'll tell a girl, I know everything about you. Then you just reel off all the details you know about her. It's a great tactic. I've used it for a very long time myself. Can you tell our viewers when you use it and what kinds of things you tell the girl about herself?
Okay, so the autobiography technique, I use that one when you're in the interaction, right? And she goes, she's hooked and she likes you. But she goes with the oh, but I just met you. I say, but I just met you. You don't know me. I just met you. I say, what do you mean I don't met you? What do you mean I just met you? Your name is Stacy. You have a twin sister. You go to FIU. You're a Aquarius. Your favorite band is Linkin Park, and so everything that I gathered in the short time amount, I give it back to her. And you know the most important part, you have a crush on me. So I do. I throw that. I think wow, they get all flows and all that. Well, yeah, that's a cool. That's a little good. A cool technique. All those things tied into the social part, into the emotional social part, right? The emotional part. From the trickeries, that's the emotional. You know, like just making her feel good. You know, but the girls, but what you're sub communicating, not sub communicating that you're a good listener, that you're intelligent, that you pay attention to detail, okay, and you address that objection that you don't know me. You know what I'm saying? And then you flip it back to her, and you have it, and then you do a future projection, and you have a big crush on me. And once you're with me, you know something. You know what's gonna happen in the year 2032 when we wake up in our big ass mansion, and you wake up and you have a smile on your face and you're so happy and say, "Oh my God, I can't believe this. This is a dream come true. I'm so happy. Oh my God, you're amazing." And I say, "You remember the night when I met you at the club at Roxy's at the club that you were telling me you don't know me? You see, I told you this was gonna happen. You see, so I do a lot of crazy shit. I flip it. You know what I'm saying? I try to they go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
it's great.
it's just a way to address objection. It's just cool ways to address objection and bring humor. So you see, that's kind of humorous without being a clown. It doesn't has a little bit of humor because the girl's gonna smile, she's gonna laugh. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And one of the things I'll point out to the viewers there. So one of the things I teach is I call it the SAC model, similarity, arousal, compliance, but similarity. And there's tons of scientific studies on this, that one of the biggest things for attraction is what's called attitude similarity, where people feel that you share the same underlying attitudes about life and the world and everything, which is one of the things you're doing when you calibrate girls. You're figuring out, how does she think about things? How can I relate back to her? And when you do this, when she hears all these things about herself, she's like, wow, he really gets me. He really cares about me. And the more similar people feel they are to you, the more trust there is. And once there's trust, then everything else can happen. They tear down those walls. They allow themselves to feel attracted and aroused. They start becoming a lot more compliant.
And just you're missing something too. They're more comfortable. Remember, Gen Z is comfort based.
Yeah.
So Gen Z is not about more than anything else. This Gen Z is about comfort. That's why Alec Rosen has a trust and comfort routine that is very effective, because Gen Z is very big on comfort. Don't ask me why. I'm trying not to figure out why. But all those things also bring the comfort, the trust, and the comfort, right? The comfort element. Because Gen Z is all about fucking comfort. I don't even get it why.
Yeah, that they're less socially experienced, but they feel more awkward.
Even sexual shit. More about being comfort.
And then the other part is
so that
they're so bombarded constantly with all this fear-based media. Everything's like paranoid. Everyone's against you. They're like skittish little animals.
That's a good point. So that's why even sometimes you, even without sexual, you can get laid as long as she's so comfortable and feels so easy with you, and she knows that you're cool and not a creeper and you're different. So comfort base because of that. Because yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Yeah, yeah. Because there, I think the Corona, those how many the Corona years? 3 years, right? So they're like not retarded, like socially backwards by 3 years. So again, that is 21. She's really how old? Seven. My math.
Yeah. 18.
18, right? 18, right? Or again, that is 20. Is really 3 years before, 3 to 4 years, right? Because Corona period, they were just home, right? So they lost that socialization. That's my theory. I'm making that up. I didn't read that. That's me making it up. But something is off. Something is off. If you deal with Gen Z girls, something is fucking off. They're like, it's just weird because they're friendly. They're friendly. They're very friendly. They're naked. They're all sexual friendly. But they're so conservative too. It's a mind fuck, bro. It's like, I don't get it, bro. It's like, the butt cheeks are out, everything is out, nipples are out. Well, they're they're so conservative, bro. They're conservative. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you have the string also the holes, right? The hole. But the majority, like I would say, like in my experience, I don't know anybody else. In my experience in the United States, South Florida, right? Like like 80, like you have like 90%, like very conservative. Like they haven't they haven't had dick. Like they haven't been around with a lot of guys. And then you have the 10% that are sticking around and all that shit. But I'm talking about the majority. You see them at the club, all together in groups, half naked, and they all go home together. You never saw that with millennials and fucking X generation or millennials. This generation is
Yeah.
weird as fuck, bro.
You know, older girls go out in like a sweater or whatever, but they're still hooking up with guys. And these girls go out, they're all on displays. But then you're like, oh, this girl's got to be really easy. But no, she's like, oh, no experience, awkward. And I think part of that is just the media influence. You got all the feminist stuff for years. It's been like, a woman should be able to show off, shouldn't have to worry about what kind of signals she's sending to a man. That's the man's responsibility. He's got to like correct his own impulses or something. And then they see all the sexualized media. So like, I guess that's just how you're supposed to dress. You just dress that way, right? And they go out dressed that way.
Yeah.
They're not thinking, because they're so socially dumb. They're not thinking like, oh, this could possibly influence a man to.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, I love the way they dress though. This generation is the hottest.
Yeah, you can find about it.
Remember, Chase. Remember our different generations. They didn't like to go to the gym or work out and shit. This Gen Z, they're obsessed with fucking working out, obsessed with plastic surgery, obsessed with makeup, obsessed with fucking fashion. That all of that is good, man. The only thing is like socialization is like that, man. Is like so bad. It's bad. It's bad.
I think that's a good point because the guys, there's so many guys now that are looks maxing. They're like, I got to focus on my looks, but the girls are doing it too. Like both sexes are like, I got to looks max, and they're not even worried about like what is the other person worried about. What does the other person look like? They're worried about what do I look like myself.
Correct. Well, the looks maxer the looks maxers at the club. Again, if you don't have, you can be the all looks max and all that shit. It's only in the internet. Because I see the looks max guys at the club, they're not pulling girls. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know game now, then you can be all the looks max. All these fucking people in whatever X or T, the girls are gonna come to you. No, I don't see that. I don't see them. I only see it on the internet, right? On the internet. So,
Yeah,
I mean, online, of course, online is gonna happen. Yeah, online.
But we get the right pictures, but then we got some average guys in the community that get their pictures right, and then they do great online as well. And
no, I'm saying the looks match shit is exaggerated, because in the night game, vibing is really. I'm pro looks max since I started the community. But what I'm saying is they are bastardizing what is looks maxing. If you just looks max and you're gonna be in the club I'm gonna be there with a cigarette or with a drink. That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. You need to have the vibe. You need to be able to convert to deal with the ghettos. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is Luke Maxing has been bastardized and excited. You know what? And
Yep.
why are we talking about Luke Maxing? Because I have never met a coach that doesn't talk about Luke Maxing. TVA Oslo has been talking about fashion and Maxima and Luke Maxing fashion since 16, right? Everybody in the game, basically that's the first thing you do, right? Even in the show, right? They fix the guys, whiten the teeth, dress them cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Have you ever advised any of your students or any post not to look smacks?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, what is that practical? Look max. What is that? I mean, I have like a 50 million post. I talk about look maxing, but I mean, look maxing is gonna get you open or get you a reaction online. But if you cannot convert the gear, if you don't have the vibe, I mean, if you have a product, I mean, which one is the best burger? It's not McDonald's, but which one is the best selling burger? McDonald's. You still have to go out and sell, right? Okay. You There's Chase is probably the top. You're the top writer, right?
Yep.
Well, you're not the top guy in the fucking industry, right? In the fucking industry, you have all these guys that are not even they're not probably got less than 10 like count that are fucking in the top in the industry, right? Because they can market, they can sell. I mean, it's essentially
Get the right paid traffic funnel. These guys are making millions. You know, we had one of the top guys was Mihao. He had like 2 lays. That dude was making tons of money. So together.
yeah. So if you go to a club and you look good, and you're just gonna wait for the guests to open you, I mean that can happen because Jesse is very friendly, right? But you still have to have the vibe. You still have to convert them. You know what I'm saying? You still have to pull them. Oh yeah. So these guys has bastardized the whole look max and shit. We have never said no to Lux Max, okay? We have Seducer. Since I met Seducer, he's big on style, like the TV Alec Rosso. He's always been big, super big on style, right? You have been big on calisthenics, whatever you propose. I mean, we all teach fucking fitness. We all teach. I mean, how many times am I gonna repeat the Lux Max? I mean, that's not practical advice. Like we are the look maxing people can find in other fucking communities, right? Our community is about optimization of the social dynamics, right? There's so much we can talk about look maxing, right? Like we write a post all the time. It's like people think that we don't talk about look maxing. The look maxing is huge, man. You know what I'm saying? But these people are bastardized. Like you're gonna look max and you're just gonna be on the. If the guy's gonna see my 6-pack for the fucking t-shirt right now, no, man, you're in the club. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it works online, but in the club you have to have the vibe. You have to be able to open groups. You have to be able to even if your looks max, you have to be able to for the guests from the group to let you pull the gear or to you gotta go along with the gears. I mean, you still have to gain. You know what I'm saying? And I see the guys that are looks max in the club, but they're not putting it. They're not putting more than me. They're not putting more than anybody else. I mean, it's just they have bastardized the whole thing, bro. These people because they're coping. People are coping. They're using looks maxing as a cope, so people don't optimize the game, the social dynamics stuff. It's just cope. Okay, I put 2 and 2 together because for a while I was just posturing because I was then I realized, man, these guys are using the loop maxing angle to posture and to have a different niche so they can sell products. You know what I'm saying? And then I put 2 and 2 together because there was a point in time that I was into that shit. Man. I almost ruined the fucking next day of sleep with my stupidity. And you know when that happened to me? When I was getting laid the least, when I was coping out of my breakup, I went into the Luke Maxi bullshit, fucking turn everybody off. Alec went to his fucking to the group, left the fucking XASC because he got so sick of us talking on fucking Luke Maxi. When I'm telling you, my it's cold. It's cold because nobody's saying no to Luke Max. How many times how I talk about in my year review about baggy maxing, fitness maxing, and all that shit. But how many times are you gonna sell that? That's not practical. It's not practical. Okay, look the best you can, but you still gotta fucking then optimize your fucking game. I mean, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just cope. You just cope. Same as the India and the live at home. It's just cope, bro. It's just
whenever you get guys that are having a really hard time getting results, a lot of times that you want to ascribe blame somewhere, so they find something they can attach it to, where it's like, this is out of control. They're like, look, I don't have the right jawline. My nose is wrong. My eyes are too far apart, so I could never get girls because my eyes are too far apart. That's the reason why. All these good look guys with their perfectly spaced eyes, those are the guys that the girls are going for, not me with my wide eyes. And because people want to attach themselves to something, but I don't know.
Cope.
I don't know if
I call it cope.
Yeah, it's cope. It's cope, and it's also when people become depressed. The way the depressed mind works, it's like you hit a problem, you're not able to solve it, and you don't want to look at other solutions. You get really stubborn. You're like, I just don't want to think about it. I just want to. Here's the reason why I want to blame this thing over here. Then I don't have to think about it anymore. Then I can let myself off the hook. It's not my fault. It's because of whatever, this thing outside of my control. But I don't know if you know the history of it, of the whole looks max thing. So a lot of it comes from the incel community, which is centered on the incel forum, incel.is. Do you know the history of that? Where that forum comes from?
Yeah, of course.
Sorry, us PUA hates? Okay. PUA.
The story, as I know.
Elliot Roger.
You know the story? Hold on. You know the story? You know the story, how it happened?
Well, I don't know what you're going to say. I was going to say PUA hates. Got Elliot Roger there to rebrand as incel.
We have it. You know how it happened, believe it or not?
Enlighten me.
Gunwish.
Let
me tell you what happened.
I don't know that. It's some ancient history I don't know.
So Gunwish and Extra Mask. There was an RSD guy. It was Gunwish and another RSD guy. I think it was Extra Mask. I don't remember. Gunwish and another, one of the old former RSD guy that is no longer RSD. They formed this group. There was a group, right? There was like a group because they were against Mystery Mestu, and the guy was left RSD and he was against RSD. So he and Gunwish formed a group, like a little group. You can ask Gunwish too. And then all these guys, all these incels started joining, and then they started, all the trolls and all the guys started joining the group. That happened to me too, because it can happen to anybody. Because I formed a group too, and similar happened to me. So all these incels, all these trolls started joining. And then Gombi started banning. And one of the guys that got banned was one of the guys that formed PUA Hate. So it's cool with it. Because that was the point where the community was being, it was oversaturated with the marketers. The marketers took it too far. Like, oh, you can get laid. The marketing took it too far. Like, you can get laid looking like a troll, right? And then that RSD was like getting everybody hyping and writing reviews. So that instructor left, and Gunwish left, and then they formed like a group. The trolls from the group that got banned formed the PUA Hate, and all the incels were there. Man, from PUA Hate, a lot of the humor I got, because those guys are good at humor, bro. Those guys are good at humor. They used to take the models. Make online profiles with the models, and do a lot of funny texting. Grandmaster. And they have amazing humor. but they're so fucked up in the head, so sick in the head. If they use that fucking humor with women, those are funny guys. They're funny guys. They're funny guys, but I learned that a lot of my humor, I took a lot of the ideas from there. And that shit works on women. But they're because they use the model's picture, and they were texting and trolling and sexual phony and all that shit. And the guests were, and I saw this shit. I was looking at all this shit because I said, "You see, the model works. Look all this stupid shit that I'm saying," and I'm looking at the texting that they're doing, and I'm like, "Holy fuck, this is amazing. These guys are good," but they had the model, so they were so no attached to the interaction, and I saw how the girls were fucking drooling and with a trolling humor, sexual grandmaster, that I adopted all this shit. And I use it myself with real women. You know what I'm saying? And I bang those women, you know? So the humor they have.
See, if those guys went to one good dating app photographer, go to the right dating app photographer, the guy dresses them up, puts them in the right backgrounds, give them the pictures, so they just use their own texting with their own pictures. There you go.
They were good. They were good, bro. Hey, I even have I have a post. I have a post in my site. It's called trolling sexting, and it's a lot of the shit me using with real woman that I banged. You know what I'm saying? So I don't use the style anymore because I don't know if it's works out, but that shit worked. That shit worked. You know what I'm saying? I use more. I use a little bit of it still. A lot of the sometimes when I'm joking around in the forum, I use a lot of those things that I adapted from them. But they were good. They were good at humor. It's just that their mind was so fucked up and they were so negative. The glass half empty and so negative and so I don't know, man. They were black pill. Like they were too like they didn't even care. Like misogynist, you know, like misogynist, like women are horrible and all this. So that attitude is if you have that type of mind, that's what the problem me and you have with the red pill, right? If you have that fucking attitude, doesn't matter if you look amazing with a six pack and you with the perfect jawline and you look good and you have a deep voice and everything sexy, but you have a deep seated hatred for women, even though you're saying whatever we're teaching, that shit is gonna come out in the subcommunication. Okay, that's in the subcommunication. It's gonna say something soft, and it's gonna affect your seductions. That's one of the problems me and you have with the red pill, And if you notice now, all the red pillars now they flip. Now, all of them come to Jesus moment or that everything they taught back in the days. I don't know if you haven't been. I don't know if you follow the community. A lot of them are just.
Yeah, they're all taking the God pill, the Jesus pill.
Are taking the God pill, or they are flipping. They're denouncing everything they taught. Like that is happening lately. Like Smigo, whatever his name is, now he's saying, "Oh, I like art and all this stuff." Like
yeah, like Milo Yiannopoulos, that guy.
No, I don't know. All these guys are flip. Meek is I don't remember the name, but they're all flipping shit that they were saying everybody to do. Now they're mad at like everything. It's crumbling, bro. It's crumbling. It's bad. It's bad.
A lot of the red pill guys will say one thing, and they're really, they're really aggressive about the views, and then they flip to something else totally.
All these misogynies. Oh, don't spend money on women and all this shit, and then you catch them. They go, oh, don't sleep with after 30 they are washed out. Don't marry women with kids, which I agree with all that shit. But then they marry the girl with kids that is over 30, right? All the shit they're talking shit. Okay, marry women. Don't simp on women, and they are fucking dating and buying, spending tens of thousands of dollars on former escort, former stripper, from former OnlyFans girls or current OnlyFans girls. You know what I'm saying? So now they all of them lost their credibility. All that shit is crumbling down. You know what I'm saying? Well, my point is back to the thing.
Before we jump off, I just want to say something. I think you're probably going to agree with this. So something I noticed is when people are really aggressive about some viewpoint and they're like, don't do this, don't do this. And they say it over and over again. What I have noticed is a lot of the times it's something that person themselves is drawn to. And I think they're trying to control themselves. They're like, I've got to not do it. I've got to not do it. And they eventually it just breaks down and they do it. And they're like, oh, well, I had a very good reason why I had to do that.
Good point. That's a good point. That's a very good point. They're just projecting, right? Yeah. Chase, well, my point is like, if let's say the insert community, if they become the right jawline, the right six pack, the right style, all that shit. But if you inside have this in the sub community, in your being, if you have a deep hatred for women, even though you're doing the right lines or saying the right things or all that stuff, that shit is gonna come out through the sub communications. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna show the self come through, and the girl is gonna be able to see that, and she's gonna be something is soft. So even if he bang her, he's not gonna get a second encounter. Okay, a lot of guys that are not getting second encounters, that's the situation. That the women can tell something inside is soft.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Something wrong.
That's just something is the line.
It's the Alfred Barabian formula. He did a study on interpersonal liking. He found 7% of it is the words you say, 38% of it is the voice tone, 55% of it is the body language. And
Right, great.
if you got the right look, hey, that's some attraction. If you're saying the right words, okay, but you can't say the right words all the time, just running from a script. But at some point, your real opinions are gonna come out, and then of course you got the body language, the voice tone, and you can't. It's really, really hard to fake that stuff. You can get some of the right body language, but then there's other tells there. And the voice tone is almost impossible to fake. If you're having negative reactions, people read this stuff.
Jeez, a lot of the stuff we're rambling about, probably people are going to take out of context because we have posts and all that stuff, man. They're going to think, what? These guys are talking crazy shit. Well, you put the links, right? You put the links to all the stuff. So people don't think we're loonies.
Yeah, well, a billion links in here. So let me see. We'll get off this topic. So, all right. Let's talk about your texting philosophy. Are you getting tired? Yeah. Are you okay?
No, I'm good, man. I'm good.
So your texting philosophy. Now, you and I basically have opposite philosophies. I'm a text minimalist. Make a strong impression on her, ask her out before you take her number, then just use text to set up the date. Text as little as possible. And then for me, if attraction's insufficient, then send her an audio message, a video message. Get her on a phone call if you can do that without making it weird, but don't use text to try and build attraction. But you are the opposite. You engage in a proper flirtation over text message. And it actually comes from based on my reading, it comes from when you had live-in situations with girls. So you often needed to keep a conversation going with girls that you were talking to until your schedule opened up enough that you could schedule a meet. So tell me about your approach to texting girls.
Okay, so remember, I evolved through the years, right? So at the beginning, remember, I couldn't speak any English. I'm meeting in girls in night game, right? I mean, the context, right? I was meeting girls in night game, in the club. And I was doing a lot of physical game, natural game, because when I talk, they will get turned off, right? So that's the context. But they were already turned off, and I will pull them, right? The ones that I couldn't pull, I will, for whatever reason, for the wild cards or whatever reason, I will get the number. Because I wasn't good at verbals, because of my accent, English being the second language, I had to get around that and do a lot of texting. So my texting I used to do the opposite of what most guys do. I was gaming through text, but not gaming, no this, just a platonic conversation. It was more like a grandmastery style, more like second gen style, like a lot of sexual humor, sexual communication, TV star stuff, lover provided, the Madonna, all that stuff, all the routines, even I will go to TV star stuff and copy the like copy and pasting the text like that, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the context of one of the situations. The other situations is I had a lot of girls living. You know what I'm saying? And then some girls I didn't have the logistics, and I had to keep them still interested until I see them. Okay. I was doing that. That's another context. Okay. But now with the new girl, but now I have refined the whole thing because of the new gen, right? So now my texting is a little bit more structured, but I just don't like. So I don't do that long texting because that was before I used to like that. Now I don't have the time. So now, and I used to work for Microsoft, so I have a bunch of time. I had a bunch of time, but now my time is more limited. So now I do the same structure. I have similar structure, but it's more is more structured. So I open the goal of the opener is just to get a response, any response, right? To get a response versus not getting any response versus getting blocked, right? And then I'm gonna banter a little bit, but using sexual topics, right? Astrology or second gen or whatever, but very minimal. And then when I feel the interaction is at a high point, then I do I taste the water with a soft close, right? And then after the soft close, so listen, I think you're amazing, and I think we'll get along great. I would love to continue the conversation. Maybe we should continue the conversations sometimes. Something quick and easy, like a coffee or a drink. So I'm tasting the water to see how she's gonna reply to the feeling the waters things. Positive, neutral, or negative. If it's not too positive, I'm not gonna go to the hard close. I keep going. And if it's a positive response, then I go to the hard close. Okay, then let's make it happen. How was Saturday? Ta 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 ta. But only after I have filled the waters. Okay, so for what I understand, your structure. No, not your structure. Like most POAs, I think it was Ricardo's. I came up with that. It was like you open. Hey, this is whatever POA from Starbucks, right? And I think that system, I don't know, for what I've seen, for what I experienced, that system, I don't know if it's in that system is not that doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't. For what I've seen, it doesn't. It's not that. It's not optimization. It's like a new direct for text. It's a new direct for text. That's what I don't understand. Yes, you're not against new direct, but that's new direct texting kind of, right? Isn't that? I mean, maybe I don't understand the concept.
I guess if you're doing it that way. So mine's a little bit more structured than that. So the structure that I use, for me, when I get a number, first I start with an icebreaker, and that's just a little thing just to break the ice on the conversation. Because if you wait too long before you do the next text, then it's awkward. And when I do the schedule, so the next thing I send has a, I guess maybe you would call it a hard close in it, but it's got 3 other things in it. So I'll send, usually it's a longer message, and a lot of guys will see it and they'll be like, oh, that's too long. I don't want to send a long message. And I'm like, you got to send it all in one message so you get sent in a block. You send a greeting, you say your name, hey, Angela, whatever it is. And then you refer to something that happened in the conversation with her so that you're bringing her back to the emotion.
That's huge.
So it's
That's huge. I do say
how was the, how the trip to the vet go with Sparky or whatever it was? Because she was like, oh, I'm going to take my vet. And then you share a little thing that happened to you recently, like, oh, that taco shop ended up being a bust, but we found a really great chicken place right nearby. And then I'll say, so how's your schedule looking this week or next for drinks or food? And then she's got different things she can engage on, right? She can be like, oh, the vet trip was great, blah, blah, blah. She's going to tell you about that. Or she'll be like, oh, I'm so glad you found the chicken place. You have to let me know where that is. And then if she's available, she'll tell you. And sometimes girls will just respond to the other stuff. They'll just tell you about, the vet trip or They'll ask you about your thing, and they won't respond to the.
Okay, but so you're not opening her closing. You're not opening and then saying how does your schedule look like. You're doing similar. You're doing similar.
Yeah, because you gotta have other stuff in case she doesn't poke on the schedule right away.
You're just skipping one part, which you don't do a soft close. You're skipping the soft close. You don't do a soft close.
What is What is your soft close, hard close? How do you differentiate between those?
Okay, so basically, so I thought you open. This is Chase P-Way from the Starbucks. What else your schedule looks like? That's what I thought you guys were doing all along. That's what I call which is similar to a neo direct texting. That's not gonna work that well, right?
Oh yeah.
But what you're saying is similar to what I do. The only thing is you skip the soft closing part, the testing the water part. You just go, what else your schedule looks like.
So what is the soft? How do you test the waters again?
Okay, so a soft close is okay. Give me the example of that gear. Whatever you were saying. What was your example? Was what?
So mine was like So I already asked her out in person because before I take the contact, I'm gonna say, hey, we should grab a bite or a drink sometime, and she'll say, yeah, great. I'm like, great. Let me get your number. So then when I'm texting her the next day, it's like, hi, Angela, how was the trip to the vet with Sparky? I didn't, the taco shop was a bust, but I ended up finding a really great chicken place nearby. So what's your schedule looking like this week or next for that bite or drink?
Yeah, that's, that's a little bit too, because
Too
now she can, my opinion, okay, now you put her now you corner her. Now she can say, now she gotta give you a yes or no, right? So now she got a yes or no, right?
Well, if she's gonna come back with a no, it's basically like, I'm a little bit busy this week. I'm not sure how it's looking. That's the equivalent of no. What you'll get with that. In which case, you can you got a couple options. If you think she's not interested enough, then you can do some text banter. If you want to do text banter, I prefer. When I get that, I'm like, okay, she wasn't hooked enough from the introduction. I didn't attract her enough, so I got to attract her more. And then now you got your choice of how you're going to do that. And personally, I prefer audio or video message because I think it's higher impact. Or phone call because now she's getting interaction with you. She's seeing you, she's hearing your voice, and then she's like, oh, that's right. That's why I liked that guy. And then after that, you follow up with another text, same kind of thing. And again, you check her schedule. And a lot of times after that, I find a lot of the time you just need one good non-text interaction with her. And then she gets excited again. She's like, this guy's charming. This guy's cool. I should just go out, see how it goes with him. So then she tells you, her schedule's open.
Okay, so what me and you have in common is that that my favorite opener is a follow through of something that we talk. The best opener. I don't open like, hi, this is skills from the club. No, I continue. My first text is like a continuation of the conversation we had in person. Like no hi, no hello. Like, oh, so was Betty mad that you came home? Was your best friend mad that we left so fast or something like that? Something like I go into a I don't open. I just go into like something that happened in the film.
That's just like the conversation just continues, right? You just pick it up right where you left off.
Correct. Like you gotta well, first of all, when we meet, I do the same as you do. Like I try to text from the meet, right? I have her text me like, so I'm in front of her. I say like the way I get the number is like this. It's like, hey, let me give you my number. So I say I'll put there like on I start texting like, who is that handsome Latin guy that you're talking to? And then I text myself that number, right? And then she looks at it and she laughs, right? And then when I'm home, and then whatever. Well, it's a strong interaction. Me and you have that in common. It's a strong interaction from the meet. There is no perfect texting if there is no strong interaction, because sometimes we get these guys at the forum And they think there is a miracle texting. There is no miracle texting. If you don't have a fucking good interaction, no texting style, I don't care who it is, it's gonna work, right? You have to have a strong interaction in person. Okay, the text is not fucking a Hail Mary, what, right? There's no like,
No magic pill texting. I could send her the right sequence of words, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, she's boring in person, but actually now I see what a wordsmith he is." And
I mean, it could work. It could work because Paul Janka used to do that, but if you do that, it's a massive number of games.
yeah,
For a lot of
and you got to text for a long time too, long enough that she's like, I've been texting for weeks. It's so great, I forget. Maybe I just the initial interaction, something was wrong.
So no matter what, you have to have a strong interaction, right? You have to have strong, and hopefully, I mean, the goal when you have the interaction at the present is to pull. We're not just getting numbers, right? We're trying to pull, and when the pool is not there for whatever reason, and we calibrate it, we have a lot of experience, right? If we meet again, day game, night games, 3 game online, if we based on experience of thousands of interactions, if we see that the pool is not there, and even if it's not there, we're gonna try a little bit, but we don't want to just ruin the lead, right? So if it's not there, then we get a number. But it's still a strong interaction, right? It's strong interaction. If it's not a strong interaction, sometimes you get the number, but it's gonna go nowhere, right? So after the strong interaction, you follow through. She responds. You want it a little bit, and then me at a high point of the interaction, I do a soft close. Which is at the high point in the interaction, which is a testing the waters. So I will say like maybe something. I'm reading. I feel we. So look, I would say I feel we're gonna get along great when we meet, man. I can tell we're gonna. So a future projection, right? I can sense we're gonna feel along great when we meet, man. We're gonna have so much fun together. So I'm doing the future projection, right? And then she's gonna say, I'm gonna say, don't you feel the same way? She's probably gonna say yes, right? Unless she's a bitch. But or if she says something negative, I'm gonna reframe it, right? It just says something like, or she changes the subject. I say, hold on, let me fix this for you. And then I'm gonna put in quotes. Yes, I agree. We're gonna have so much. Even see if let's say she said, let's say I'm making this up. Let's say I feel we're gonna get along great. I have this feeling we're gonna get along great. And she said, oh, but I'm, yes, but I don't know about that.
So I wrote down an example from one of your forum posts. So I'll just read it to you. So you have this example. It's from your good morning texting guide. So you say morning, you get a sun emoji. She's like, hi. And then you say, let me fix that for you. Hi, Diesel. I can't wait to see you on Friday. How are you? Better. Hey, I've had the text. You're all that is cute. I can't wait to see you either. You're still talking to yourself, sending these texts, Carver. And say, I hear at work doing some big closing clients, so I can't impress you. So I can impress you with dinner reservations to Chipotle. I'm chivalrous. And she laughs. And then the next day, again, you message her in the morning. Say, morning, sun emoji. And now she says, hey, Diesel, what's up? So now she's getting into it. She's giving you a bit more. She adopted the nickname that you gave yourself yesterday. And then you said, I would say my pee-pee, but that would be inappropriate. Here at the gym, let me text you later. Wah. So my notes were, from a technical standpoint, you're being interesting and entertaining, sure, but you're also doing a lot more. So you're telling her how you expect her to talk with you, but in a fun way. You give her a nickname to use with her, which she does the next day. You seed an upcoming date, which she may not have even agreed to yet, but you make it sound low pressure and fun using sexual humor, but then you take it away before she could say anything about it. Then you frame yourself as busy and you tell her you'll text her later after baiting her into responding to your morning text, which even if she was just being polite, now makes her feel like your time is more scarce than hers is. So there's all kinds of good stuff going on with this girl who isn't giving you much that is designed to make her value you more and even start to chase.
Okay, so Chase, that's a good example. So look, So I will be like, just got back for the gym, and she say, "Oh, how I was? Good, good. I'm trying." So I will say, let me give you an example. So this is a soft close. I will say, "Yeah, I was working out hard because I wanna look fit and sexy for our upcoming date." I haven't asked her how it schedule looks like or any of that. So I'm just feeling the water. So yeah, I just came from the gym. Hey, whatever, blah blah blah. Yeah, yeah, that was a good workout. Just remember, I'm trying to look fit and sexy for our upcoming date. So I'm feeling the waters. So she's gonna, if she's if she's ready if she's ready for me to have clothes, I'll say, oh really? And when is that gonna be? So she's gonna do, if she respond possibly to that. That's when I go for what you do. Okay, how about how does your schedule looks like, right? Okay, let's do Wednesday or whatever. I don't do hard clothes. So the only thing you you're doing good. The only thing I would that you don't do a soft close. You don't like to do feel the waters the soft close, because I don't like to work on negative compliance. It's because I don't like if when they say no, then you're working for negative compliance, and then it puts me like I feel like I'm chasing. You know what I'm saying? So I rather work. I rather I rather work. Some guys do that. Some guys like the objection, address the objection, address objection, address objection. I rather just feel the waters, and if I see she's gonna give me she's too maybe, or she's gonna give me an objection and all that, I don't go for the hard close. I just keep a little bantering and feeling the water and doing and then bantering, and I have on soft close again until I get like a strong response, and that's when I go for the hard close. So that's what works for me personally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm like risk adverse. Like TVA also called that risk adverse. So my style of texting is more risk adverse, because I don't like when the girl goes like maybe no ta ta ta, because for me personally, once they go with a no, or they start texting no that strong interaction, it like I feel like chasing, and then it kind of never happens, unless I go a little bit radio silence, and then they're in another stage. So I rather just be like a little bit risk adverse, unless it's a girl that the direction wasn't strong, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to waste that. Either like, tell me what's up. You know what I'm saying? If it's one of those girls, but most of the girls, if I have a strong interaction and I text the way I do it, is very very high odds, really really high odds. Then I've seen guys going from the other texting style to this texting style, and has worked a lot for them. Have increased the percentage. You know what I'm saying? Oh. So with your style, I like it. I just would throw in the only thing I think you are missing is the soft closing. But if it's working for your taste, you're the top dog, man. I mean, if it's working for you, it's working for you. You don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Whatever works for anybody. Okay. For me personally, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that. You are more high value probably than me. I'm not that high value. I'm a Latin guy. I don't have the money you have. I don't have the girls chase. I have the old blog. You know what I'm saying? I'm not chase. So, you know what I'm saying? I have to work a little harder. You know what I'm saying? I don't have your good looks. You know what I'm saying? So,
Well,
I have to work a little harder.
I like the soft close idea. I think it's interesting. I will say with the structure that I use is designed so that she doesn't ever give you a hard no. You pretty much never get hard no's, because the way that when you're sending it as a text that way, you've got the personalization to her, you've got the bit about you, so it's all conversational. She feels like it's a conversation, and then you just say, "Hey, what's your schedule like?" So it feels too awkward for her to just be like, "Oh no, sorry, I can't meet," because she's got these other conversation bits which she's going to engage with, and it feels weird to engage with someone and be like, "Oh, that was fine. I'm really interested to hear about that. Actually, no, I don't want to meet." It just feels weird. So she'll just say, "I'm busy." So you get this kind of this vague.
Chase, you see when you tell the girl what else your schedule looks like, because the girls do that to me, right?
Uh-huh.
When the girl asks me what's your schedule looks like, I know what she's asking me that because she wants to meet me. You know
Yeah,
what
of
I'm saying?
course.
So now I'm camouflaging the interest. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no camouflage. I'm fuck, baby. I want to interview Chase Amante. That's okay. So you gotta call him back.
Okay, fine.
Why? Hold on a second. That was disrespectful. Hold on, Chase. Hold on a second.
I'll wait.
Was disrespectful. Maybe that was disrespectful. Shout out to the players. Okay, bye.
How's it going?
All right, listen. Chase. So when a girl says, so when you tell the girl what's your schedule looks like, she knows it's to meet. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay, so there's a question for you. When you take the girl's number, I think you're just saying, "Let me get your number," right? Are you asking her out first, or are you just saying, "Let me get your number"? Are you saying we should hang out sometime?
no, I said let me give you my number, because
Okay,
because before you
do that.
let me get your number, she's gonna ask for Insta and all that shit.
Yeah.
It's-
Before you give her your number, do you ask her out first, or you just have a conversation and you say, "Let me give you my number"?
Okay, so we're talking, we're vibing, we're escalating, we're doing all this shit, right? So I said, give me your phone, because I don't want it. If I say, let me give you my number, give me your phone so I can give you my number. Oh, no, I don't say, let me give you my number. I say, give me your phone. Let me your phone. Give me your phone so I can give you my number. And then when I have the phone, I put my name, I text myself, and then I call myself from her number, and I have it as a missed call. So that's what I do.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not setting up the date. What we mean? I'm not setting
Yeah.
it up.
So the I guess for me the soft close is happening in person, or if it's online before the number exchange. Because I'm saying either I'm saying directly, "Hey, we should grab a bite or a drink sometime," or if we're talking about something in conversation, we're talking about, I don't know, some local tourist attraction that she hasn't gone. We're like, "Hey, yeah, I should take you there sometime. You'd love it, I'm sure. We'll get along." And she's like, "Yeah, that would be really fun." Whatever. She's giving the agreement already in person. She's saying she wants to hang out.
I got you.
But once we do the texting, she's already agreed, and you're just using texting like, "We're free. Let's just set up stuff."
Okay, so you do the soft closing in the person. I got you. So you do the soft closing in person. But the problem with soft closing in person that I see is that she's gonna forget, or she can be just agreeing for a. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She can be agreeing for a ring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, things can change over text. She can,
Because every other guy is doing. Yeah, because every other guy is I don't know how to explain it. Well, I mean, Chase, that technique works too. Like that, and I understand that technique too, because we're dealing with so many autistic guys that for them to sometimes I hate teaching texting because they're kind of autistic. So they're if it's better like, hey, yeah, we should have grab a drink and then just call and don't fuck it up texting because they're gonna fuck it up and just go for the meet. Yeah, I can see that, but
I will also say
it's-
earlier on, I had texting conversations where I would do the lengthier texting, and I would do things like, "Hey, it'd be really fun if we did something sometime," and the girl's kind of like not giving you much back, and I'm like, "Oh, I guess she isn't ready yet." And sometimes it's just not going anywhere. She stops responding. And then I'd be like, "Well, let me just shoot out a Hail Mary and be like, hey, let's hang out sometime." And you send that, and immediately she's like, "Okay." I'm like, "Oh, she just needed me to ask her directly."
okay, so it works for you better. Okay, yeah.
Well, I'm not saying it always does, but I've had it enough times where I'm like, I'd rather just throw it out there, and then she doesn't respond, especially when we've already talked in person earlier and we're like, we're going to go hang out. And then if she doesn't give me her schedule then I'm like, okay, well, the attraction's not there. Let's do something else. But you're building attraction with text, which is also.
Oh, hold on a second. Hold on. But that doesn't mean the attraction is not there. If she says no,
Well, she's in a different state. Well, I mean, the perspective is like, she was attracted to you earlier. She was interested, but now she's busy. She's in a different emotional state. She's like, I don't know if I want to meet this guy, or she's forgotten some of the attraction. So then you send her an audio message and she's like, she hears your voice again and it pulls her back into that state earlier. She's like, oh, that's right. That's
okay. So you do the audio messages. Okay.
She just hears your voice and recalls the emotions.
It was different styles. And do what works. Do a combination of mine and you together.
All right, that concludes our interview with Skills. Now, believe it or not, I actually had a full other hour talking with Skills here. I kept him up really late at night talking about some of his advanced game strategies. We talked about his referral game. We talked about him using good morning texts, which are something that you see posted around on the mainstream. It's kind of this cutesy thing, but a lot of the pickup guys and red pill guys will tell you, don't do that. It's needy, low value. Well, Skills does it in a way that is cool and effective and gets him girls out on dates and into bed that otherwise wouldn't have come. And we talked about all this. We talked about how he does it. We had some really great conversations and eye-opening insights, and unfortunately, in saving that part of the file, it got corrupted and lost. So we don't have that part of the interview. All the more reason for us to get Skills back on here again in the future and talk about these advanced game strategies, the ones we've already talked about before and didn't get saved, and some other ones that we didn't even get to this time because we ran out of time. So I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Skills. Let me run through some of the places that you can find Skills if you want more stuff from him. So Skills has a website called theskillsmethod.com. He's got a YouTube channel where he's got a bunch of videos posted, and some of them are older, but he's got some more recent content up too. And all the stuff is great. You get to actually hear what he sounds like aside from this interview and see more perspectives from him than you'll see on the Skilled Seducer forum. If you go to youtube.com and look up Dance Floor Seduction, that's his channel name, you'll find it there. And finally, he has the guide to seducing women on the dance floor. And if that's something you're remotely interested in, you're going to want to pick up his book. If you go to Amazon.com, look up the book Dance Floor Seduction, where you'll find Skills dishing on exactly what to do to get girls off the dance floor and into bed. And one final note from Skills is that he's looking to get set up on Girls Chase TV, posting his videos there, but he's having some technical difficulties. So if you're a bit tech savvy and you'd like coaching with Skills, he's happy to work out an arrangement where you help him get set up on there and get his videos posted, and in return he'll provide you some free coaching. So this is an offer not to sneeze at if you want to work with an OG like Skills and get some really dialed in advice. You can look him up on the Skilled Seducer forum. If you've got an account with at least 10 messages posted, you'll be able to send him a DM. Or you can go to his website, theskillsmethod.com, and send him a message. And just another note I'll leave is that even if you aren't looking to do a technology exchange with Skills, you can still sign up for coaching with him. And working with a guy that is coming from a background of being a natural, but has also become a highly conscious and competent skilled seducer is kind of a rare treat. So I wouldn't pass that up if you're at all interested in making some gains in any of the areas that Skills has talked about, or some of the other ones that he's talked about on the forum as well. This has been Chase Amante. You were listening to my interview with Skills, our Skilled Seducer of the Month. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.